TikTok time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. It is your friendly neighborhood philosopher here, D Wood. Got Jai with me. You notice the upgrade. Last time had AP with me, and then we got better AP. So we got the upgrade. Hey guys, funny story. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be telling this funny story, but it's pretty funny. So AP said he wanted to go live on his channel tonight. I said, sure, no problem. So started. So this evening was set apart for AP, and then AP rearranging his new setup and stuff. Decided to stand on a desk while doing something, and well. Let's just say AP should have stayed at the gym because the desk could not support him, and he went crashing through it, and now he's all injured and stuff. So let's hope he takes this as a good wake-up call that he needs to get back to the gym. Otherwise, he'll keep falling through desks. Turks, man. Turks. Oh, they're bad. So anyway, guys, we were going through this before. We started going through this. I didn't think we'd get through all of it, but we were almost halfway through it, and then it stopped working. Yes, for those of you who were watching yesterday, then the video stopped working. Wouldn't work on playback, and so I thought it was Ecamm. Well, I thought I had a corrupted video file at first, so then I went and checked it on my laptop. Video worked fine, so I assumed it was Ecamm. But then upon further inspection afterwards, found out, no, it was the video. Somehow transferring the video from my laptop to my desktop, the second half of the video stopped working. I did not know that was a thing. But apparently you can transfer a video file and half the video can become corrupted. Did not know that, but that means I need to actually, it's never happened before, but so it means I'll have to test videos in the future before I actually play them because that's a thing I was not aware of. So interesting stuff. Didn't he use his wings? People making fun of AP here. Let's see. Oh, dang, poor AP.
Poor AP, yeah. Pray for AP, guys.
Thanksgiving AP turkey. Yeah, we got Jai P.
Jai P.
Oh, look at this one. Ha, did he record it? That would be funny. Not sure he'd want to post that because, you know, the Dawa guy. You see, this is the proof. This is what he gets. Allah has punished him by making him fall through the desk. Yes, just like he fell out of Islam. Now he fell through the desk. This is a message to all you others who are considering leaving Islam. Don't you know what will happen? You too will fall through a desk. And then 5 years from now, they'll still be, AP, remember you fell through that desk. That's why I wasn't sure I should be saying this, but what do I care? Let's see. D Wood abrogated the video file because it was corrupted. Did he confirm it? Yes, I confirm.
Generally confirmed it.
I generally confirm it, guys. I generally confirm it. All right, guys. So yeah, we're gonna pick up where we left off. I'm not sure exactly where. It was a little before halfway. I think 39 or 40 minutes or something. I just checked it, but then I forgot again. So we'll just fast forward to 39 minutes, and then we'll start watching. Because, and I wasn't thinking until I was like, okay, this guy's getting angrier and angrier, and becoming more and more hesitant to answer any questions because he knows where it's all going. He knows how Avery will spend the entire first half of the debate just lining things up for later. And this guy knows that apparently, so he's trying to resist. But anyway, so I thought we'd seen enough, but then people were pointing out, I was like, no, this guy he's completely crashed out later. And I was like, oh yeah, I did see a couple of some of the clips I saw on X of this guy melting down and whining like a little baby. They're from I shouldn't even say it. I don't know. I kind of like him. Like I'm sitting there thinking, but he don't want to answer. Like, okay, well, he's basically being smart. He's being smart, trying not to give Avery all the building blocks of the demolition to destroy him. So I don't know. But anyway,
there was
good.
There's one point when he realized he got caught and like what he was doing with the dodging and the diverting, and he goes, "Oh, you're good at this."
Oh,
like he like just realized
That's what I mean. I
like,
saw a couple of those clips on X, and I was like, "Oh, there was a lot more later on when Avery started putting it all together." So, yep.
Yeah.
And then it was basically popular demand. I got a bunch of messages saying, "Can you guys please continue that?" There's all sorts of stuff that we didn't get to, cool stuff that we didn't get to. So, then when AP fell through a desk, I thought, well, I guess that means we got to finish going through the debate because AP fell through a desk.
I've never heard of this guy before. Never heard of him.
I thought you were about to say I never heard of someone falling through a desk like an idiot before.
Well, I haven't heard of that either. Actually, I never heard of him falling through a desk. But pray for AP, guys. But I saw this guy. He happened to be the same guy who was doing like 2-hour long responses to the Islamic Dilemma and the Serpents Institute or Sapiens Institute, whatever they're called. They were hosting the video. And people were asking me, "Have you seen it? Have you seen it?" And I was like, my rule is kind of always like, it depends how it takes off from the Muslim side. So if the Muslims keep saying, "Hey, respond to this guy, respond to this guy, respond to this guy," then I kind of know, okay, so they think he's got something worth like kind of like saying, and maybe we should respond to it. So I haven't actually seen it. It didn't take off at all. It was only like a couple of people, Christians, who were like, "Hey, did you see this guy? He did like 2-hour response to the Islamic Dilemma." I have no interest watching 2 hours of like a Muslim, just like, especially that guy going on for 2 hours about the Islamic Dilemma. So
wait,
that was the first time I've heard of him.
Did he posted a 2-hour response to the Islamic Dilemma?
Yeah, it was on the Serpents Institute page on the YouTube
Oh,
channel.
that was that guy. I remember.
That's that guy.
I remember seeing same thing. I remember seeing several months ago. Oh, this is the decisive refutation of the Islamic Dilemma. And I was like, 2 hours? You guys might want to give the highlights or something like that. Because what we've seen a lot in the past is like this, what's it called? Is it called a war of attrition? Hang on, let me see. I've never used that term.
It's a war of talking. And apparently he's done a bunch of refutation videos, or I should say refutation videos of Avery. I haven't seen any of those, but I heard that he did. So when he got on that stage with Avery, it was like Christmas for him, because he really was like, he's like, imagine you're doing all these refutation videos of this guy, and then like you finally get to debate him in person. Someone pointed out yesterday that this was like the highlight of his life, and it was just an average Wednesday at 5 p.m. for Avery.
Yeah. I said for Avery it was Tuesday, man. That's a famous saying. I understand. That was Major Bison in the crappiest movie ever with one of the coolest villains ever. It's like that's always weird to me. You take a just crap movie, but they have like this super awesome character in it. And yep, that's what he said. I understand that the day Bison graced you with his presence was the most amazing and defining day of your entire life. But for me, it was Tuesday. He was saying he didn't even remember. He didn't remember. This girl spent her entire life plotting revenge for this epic day when her family was destroyed and stuff like this, and he doesn't even remember. He don't even remember the day or the battle or anything about it. But yeah, that's how it is for
Muslims have pointed out. Multiple Muslims have pointed out, even recently as Libiano, saying that the scholars and the sheikhs, they can't answer the Islamic dilemma, and it's basically not just the Islamic dilemma. The kind of idea is that they just can't answer anything that we have to say. They're not prepared for this kind of debate or discussion, and we see that with this guy. Even though he's done a lot of many hours of refutation videos, he was still incredibly underprepared, and I mean, it speaks for itself, really.
Yeah. So basically, a Muslim scholar who's never interacted with Christian apologists might have the excuse, "Hey, I'm not familiar with their arguments. Yeah, I spent my life studying the Quran and the Hadith and Islamic law and fiqh and everything else, and I've studied all this stuff. But I'm not familiar with with what Christian apologists and Christian polemicists are going to say. But this guy's been interacting through videos, so he's got the scholarly background." Right. He's well-spoken. He's very intelligent. If he can't defend it, he's got no excuses. There's no excuses anymore. So, crazy times. Yeah. Crazy times. Hey, someone is saying we are being randomly muted, but I only see one person saying it. So, guys, is that happening? Are we going in and out, or is that just one person, which would mean it's on that person's end, not on our end?
Let me listen.
Let me know before I start.
I'm
Sometimes things are one person's computer. Sometimes things are regional. In other words, there's an internet or YouTube problem in a specific area of the world. And other times, nope, it's actually it's on
Oh
our
yeah,
issue.
they're saying it's fine.
Okay. Okay, everyone's saying
Okay.
it's fine. So yeah,
Or a lot of
whoever
people are saying it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
whoever's having a glitch or something that's on yours, I'd recommend um, refreshing the page. See what it's at. See what it does.
Cool.
All right. Let's take these first couple super chats, then we'll jump in. So anyway, yeah. So with that guy posting a 2 hour response, I was like, okay, if we're gonna go through that, then I'm going to have to see lots of Muslims recommending it as the knockdown
Yep.
refutation, because otherwise not interested in going through that. And but when I talked about like war of attrition, that's where you like try to wear the other side down. And I've seen that in the past with Muslims. That'd be like, here's where Muhammad is in the Bible, and you refute that, and then they put up they put up another one, and then you refute that, and so on. And then they're like, aha, here's our 3 hour case, and
Yeah.
it's like you're not really adding anything. You're making longer and longer responses until we just get sick of it, and it's like, okay, not interested in this anymore. And then they go, you see, they're running from our powerful responses. They know they can't defeat us and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one tactic. So I wasn't terribly interested. But that's interesting that it's the same guy. I did not know that. So
Yeah.
funny story. David didn't plug in his new streaming camera. That's true. And this one, basically 50-60% chance his camera's going to cut out, and then I have to restart it and stuff like that. Ouch town population AP. Yep. He's in Ouchtown. Only 4 minutes late. TikTok will indeed rock. Yes. Can we get the hijab Dawa disaster song yet?
Speaking about hijab, this guy cannot stop with the controversy.
You
If he's
think?
not going after Christians or Hindus or Sikhs, now he's going after Salafis, and he's getting a ton of pushback. Even like the Arab side of Twitter has picked up on it, and they posted like the shirtless picture of him that we always show to show he's like a complete buffoon, and they called him a wild donkey. They call him in Arabic. They call him a wild donkey, and he goes, "What does that picture have to do with the point that you're making?" And he did, like it was like, oh man, they're really good at like insulting each other. But
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, so he cannot stop the controversy, man. It's
no, I
like,
know, and I saw this from him just a little while ago. Posted on X. He said, "Everyone familiar with my content knows that I've always called for Sunni unity wherever it is realistically possible. That is because the Ummah is bleeding. Muslims are being humiliated." We need this
They keep on
combined
moving,
with
yeah.
"you make me sick, I make me sick," and combined with we suck so bad. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, these are hilarious times. It is amazing though that they come to us and they're like, yes, Islam will enter every home, Islam will take over the world by themselves. The Ummah is bleeding. We suck so bad. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah. He's taking the Yasser Qadhi route though. Like, Yasser Qadhi starts out all like hardcore Salafi and stuff like that, and then he becomes like out of the movement and starts criticizing it, and then he gets like ostracized by the community, and then he does a whole narrative stuff, and we know what happened after that. But he's doing the same. It's the same trajectory with Muhammad Hijab. Starts out really hardcore Salafi, and then he gets looser and looser, less conservative,
Like
and now
Muhammad on the night of Al-Zut.
Oh, speaking about Azut, I saw Brother Rashid did
Hey,
it.
my favorite intro to any sentence ever. Speaking of Al-Zut.
Speaking of Azut, I saw that Brother Rashid is now popularizing it in the Arab world too. He just did a show on it today. It said
Well-
Muhammad and the people of Al-Zut.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Apparently they've recognized, because it's
Yeah.
funny because Rashid told me, he said, I heard that story when I was growing up. So
Yeah, I haven't seen the episode yet, but I'm excited to watch it.
wow. So that's funny. So for years, it was only the Arabic speaking critics of Islam who were using this, and we didn't have like easy access to the story. And then Raymond Ibrahim came out with the video. Then I helped popularize that, and now we basically we basically flipped it back to them, said, hey, we got all these new ways to make fun of Muhammad on this topic, and now they're translating them back. These are good times, man.
Yeah.
Can we get the hijab disaster song? The hijab
That was
disaster
yeah.
song? Is that what's that song he always sings? It's a song he sings
Yeah.
to like IP.
Oh, is it the, without lies Islam died, that one or the
No,
which
the
one?
one hijab actually sings. What's that song?
Oh, uh me and Mrs.
Oh
Jones.
yeah, Mrs. Jones. I couldn't think of what name. Mrs. Jones, hillbilly redneck. What a clown. Wait,
Yeah.
AP fell through a desk. Was he auditioning for WWE? Anyways, this Nasser did one of the greatest crash outs of 2026. Oh, really?
Really? Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. We're about to find out. Can we send money for AP's desk's medical bills? Yeah, that poor
Desk.
little guy. That would have been funny to have recorded. But it sucks because he had me and Luke move his stuff, and we moved that stupid desk, and then he fell through it, which means we didn't need to bring it. AP became more well-rounded, which resulted in him becoming more grounded. That's funny. Hey, Jifters, God bless from Philippines. Philippines, awesome place.
God bless.
Raul Julia with stomach cancer during filming. Yeah, that was true. He crushed that part. Raul Julia was the guy who played who played Bison in that movie, but he was actually like final stage cancer. Wasn't interested in doing it, but his kids liked the video game and asked him to do it, and he's
Yeah.
like, gonna do it. But I mean, it's just there's an awesome like point there, right? Because again, it's a crappy movie. It's just not. It just wasn't a good movie at all. It's just made for a video game because the video game was popular and stuff. But like, okay, I'm about to leave this earth. Let me just freaking crush this part in this
Nice.
otherwise crappy movie. And here I am like over 30 years later, and those scenes are still stuck in my mind. I can't tell you what happened in the rest of the movie because it was crap. But yeah, that's legend status. That's legend status right
Yeah.
there. Hey, D Wood and Jai, I might have missed it, but I would love it if you'd finish your review of the debate between Dr. Gavin Ortland and Trent Horn. Love you guys. I was doing that with AP. I was
Yeah,
actually
that's
interested. I still haven't finished watching that, so I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind actually starting over at the beginning because those two guys are like know their topics really well. They're like among the best to represent their respective positions and so on. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. And then we have second half is great. Avery broke him. Okay, well I'm glad everyone encouraged us to finish this. This is cool. You see, Twitter prophet Samuel Bet-Shamounian said that everything around David Wood will fail. This desk is the first step, as it is written. Yeah, that'll probably be.
As it is written.
Sam will be, the orbs broke the desk so he would fall. This is but Sam will interpret everything about him. You see, this is what happens when you don't agree with everything Sam Shamoon does and says, you see. Anyway, all right, we ready to jump into this, man?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go, guys. Actually, I got to find out
Was
where we
Jesus a Muslim?
are. And
I know. IP did a review of this. Well, during the whole anniversary thing, and that was like horrible timing on his part. But the review that he did was basically what he started out with some kind of things in the beginning, and then he like jumped into like an hour because he said they were just like repeating for like the first hour, and after that hour, after the hour it was like that's when all the good stuff happened, something like that.
all right, I think it was sometime around here that the video cut out, so we'll just start it around here and let's check it out.
He never gets rid of the term God. The term God itself is fine. That's the stable, actual definition of who God.
Oh, I totally forgot where we were. That's funny. Yeah, guys. So, just for anyone who wasn't there yesterday, he was saying that back in the day, back in Bible times, it was okay to call Allah Father back then because of the culture. But then Allah realized, hey, even though I've been letting them refer to me as Father, it's being misrepresented and misinterpreted, and the meaning is being corrupted, and therefore I have to wipe away that term. No longer call me Father because It's been misused and corrupted the way people are using it. So get rid of the name. And then Avery says, well, according to the Quran, Surah 5, verse 72, Christians were calling the Messiah Allah. And if Christians are calling the Messiah Allah, then the term Allah has been corrupted. Why not get rid of the term Allah? He clearly wasn't ready for that. And he started rambling. But let's see where he goes, because we didn't get to finish where he was going.
Is, right? So you use the term God, and then you could attribute names to God, like a husband, or I think there's one verse that says, rock. There's another one that says it's like a birthing mother or something like that, screaming in pains of birth or something like this, right? So these add-ons, these tags, if they get completely messed up and twisted, then naturally you're going to say, listen, you guys have a very messed up theology. You shouldn't use these types of terms because apparently some people took it literally. And that's a real big problem. Now can I get back to the first verse? I don't remember what it was. So no, you're not going to get rid of the base concept of God because somebody said, oh, look over there, this idol is a god. Well, now we have to throw away the word God because he attributed that idol to God? No, what? Okay, anyway, what was the first verse? What was
I also forgot what happened, like the trajectory. So he brings this up. Yeah, Allah allowed people to call him father, but then he realized they were misusing it. Therefore, he wiped out calling him, don't call him that name anymore. Don't call him that. And then Avery, of course, points out, well, if that's your reasoning, he should get rid of the term Allah, because that also, and the guy starts going, what? You're going to get rid of a name just because someone misuses it? What are you, crazy? And Avery goes, you're the one who said it, not me. You're the one who said it. Oh gosh, I forgot.
This is we talked about this before, and I'm the example that we use. I'm forgetting what it was, but it was when we were reviewing like for the mother rights thing. We made another point, and we were like, oh, if that's the logic here, then it should apply here as well. I don't remember exactly what that was, but I'm thinking of an example now, which is this something that's built into Islam, that the wives of Muhammad are the mothers of believers. So you could think the same thing. Oh, they're your mother. So Aisha was your biological mother. These are your biological mothers. No, but it could be misunderstood like that. So why would Allah allow for the possibility of a kind of like familial term being misunderstood in its literal sense? Why would he allow for that possibility? And this is obviously, it's not logic that the Quran uses at all, but it's logic that like, Dawa guys and apparently their sheikhs use as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so why? Why use it? Why use it at all? I mean, why use those kinds of terms at all, right? They should have been wiped, and yet you find them in the Quran. Interesting. And it's weird that Ubay ibn Ka'b's version of the Quran. So it was originally, guys, it's Surah 33, verse 6 of the Quran. That's where Muhammad's wives are called the mothers of the believers. But that verse originally said, and Muhammad is a father to them.
Yep.
So apparently it's even after the verse has been revealed, Allah realized that it's a problem after the verse had been revealed. That it's a problem referring to Muhammad as father. It's going to be misinterpreted by someone. So he took that part out. Ubay kept it in his, but other Qurans took it out. I mean, other people were told, hey, leave that part out. Ubay said, nope, I'm keeping it in. So it's like, okay, if Allah knew that it was a problem in the past, why did he bring it up again only to abrogate that part of it and then to not learn his lesson at all and refer to Muhammad's wives as the mothers, which will only lead to confusion according to Dr. Nasser. But Allah, he just has trouble learning his lessons, I guess.
And another thing that Allah should be abrogating is, okay, every Muslim agrees that there's disagreement on the interpretation of, for example, Allah having hands, right? You have your Salafi kind of like Athari kind of position where these are literal hands, and Muslims are always like, but don't think of this hand, don't think of that. So they acknowledge right away, once you're thinking of a hand, you're thinking of a human hand. And they go, oh, but there's also a hand of a clock, and there's a hand. So it's a hand, but it's like something that befits his majesty. Then you have the other view, which is saying, no, it's just a metaphor for his strength. And some Muslims are like, no, that's completely blasphemous. You can't interpret Allah's attributes or his body parts like that. They need to be interpreted literally. But what he's saying is that if there's a possibility of people misunderstanding a term that is applied to God, then it should be abrogated because, you want to have clarity and you don't want people to have misunderstandings. So now you have some Muslims who think that Allah actually has a body that takes up physical geography. And then you have other Muslims who think that, actually, no, these are just metaphors and these things don't actually correlate to physical parts, or they're metaphors basically. Like Allah's hand that refers to his power, his shin refers to whatever that's metaphoric for, and according to him, according to this logic, again, like I want to stress, this is not something the Quran says. The Quran never says that people misunderstood it and that's why it's been abrogated. The Quran never acknowledges that this was ever a title for God at all, and in fact it completely repudiates it over and over and over and over again. But it's Muslims like him who are, because of the Islamic dilemma, they're forced with this conundrum, and that's the dilemma.
And we have to ask, if Allah is looking at how terms were misused in the past and misunderstood, and how this led to confusion, and he wants to avoid that, why did he keep the plural pronouns for himself?
Oh yeah, that's what we use, the plural pronouns. Yeah, that was the example. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Plural pronouns, guys. Why did he continue using plural pronouns? To this day, when I start quoting the Quran, like the comments over and over again will be, why is Allah calling himself we? What's up with that? What's up with that? And Muslims today will give the response, plural of majesty, but that's not what the Quran says. The Quran doesn't say that. And so why didn't Allah clean up that mess? In other words, here's what you have, guys. If Dr. Nasser's explanation is correct, that Allah saw confusion in the past, therefore he decided to change up the terminology to avoid confusion, why did he leave the most confusing terminology? Why did he leave all this stuff? Which means that can't be the real explanation, because there's all these other things that he would have cleaned up. So that's not the reason. What is the real reason that God is called Father in the Old Testament, Father in the New Testament, and by the time you get to the Quran, it's the worst thing you could possibly do? Why? Yep. What changes? What's the real explanation? It's not Dr. Nasser's. He's completely wrong on this. It doesn't make any sense. So what's the real explanation? Well, read Faith of the Fatherless by Dr. Paul Vitz, the psychologist, and he talks about what the consequences would be of someone who had Muhammad's background as a child. They have a problem with father figures. They have a problem with father figures, especially with viewing God as a heavenly father. I'd say that's a much better explanation. I should make a video about that. My goodness. All right.
Also, what happened when Muhammad got called out for using terms that people misunderstood? Like for example, the time when Muhammad started introducing Allah as the most merciful, Ar-Rahman, he started using this term. Well, that confused the heck out of the pagans. They were like, we only know one Ar-Rahman, that was Musaylima, the other false prophet, well, one of the other false prophets that existed in Muhammad's time, the one they call Musaylima the liar. Well, he was called the most merciful. So Muhammad just randomly starts calling Allah the most merciful one day, and the pagan Arabs are like, well, we only know one most merciful, that's Musaylima. So is he your God now? Like, are you calling to him? And so he obviously, clears things up with that, and gets a verse revealed, But there's a bunch of other examples too. Muhammad is calling Jesus the Word of God, right? And he gets called up by Christians.
Good point. Christians are calling Jesus the Word of God, and Christians understood that to mean that he's God, because that's what the Bible says. And then Allah comes along and he says, Christians judged by the gospel. Oh yeah, and Jesus is the Word of Allah. Well, why wouldn't he do something about that, knowing how confusing that was to Christians? Huh.
Yeah. And what does Muhammad do? Does he say, oh, it's been abrogated now? No, he says, oh, only Allah knows the understanding. Only Allah knows. So it seems like Allah doesn't abrogate titles that are confusing to people or misunderstood, and from the Muslim perspective, but rather he just says only he understands them. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's see where Dr. Nasser's gonna go with this.
He was talking about God loving us.
Perfect. Thank you. Now I got it. Being compared to the beloved of the Father. Yeah, exactly. Are there no such thing as hypocrites in Christianity?
Sure.
Okay, so doesn't Jesus say, when they said, come to him saying, Lord, Lord, he said, get away from me, I never knew you?
Some of them.
Yes, and doesn't that mean that they're not guaranteed because they thought they were guaranteed and they weren't?
The hypocrites aren't, but exactly. the ones who are not hypocrites, who identify him as Lord, gets into heaven. Well, I don't know.
My point is, you guys got to drop this line of like, what? You don't know? Oh, I feel so sorry for you. You're not going to heaven. When what is it? There's a particular verse that says you might lose your secured position. Right? There's that verse that specifically says that you can lose your secure position. Why? Because
what verse is that?
2 Peter 3:17-18. Be on your guard so that you may not be carried away by the error of the lawless and fall from your secure position. Is this talking about like security guards? No, secure position means faith. You have solid faith. but it's not guaranteed. You can fall from your secure position. There are such people that say that they're Christian, they think that they're guaranteed, but they're hypocrites. They run to Jesus saying, Lord, Lord. He says, get away from me, I never knew you. Lawless people. Anomos, right? Anomos, lawless. Doesn't Paul talk about being anomos at some point?
Are you asking for me a response or?
That was a question.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a full response if that's okay, Dr. Nasser.
Yellow.
Okay, so
Yellow.
we're not talking about hypocrites, brother. We're talking about what God affirms for himself. I don't care about the hypocrites. Jesus himself says that we are the beloved of the Father. You didn't touch that, but you went on to talk about hypocrites for some reason. That's relevant.
What religion are they?
The hypocrites?
Yes.
They claim to be Christians. Who cares?
There you go.
All right. What about the true Christians? Are
Yes.
they? So
obviously, true believers go to heaven. What are you talking about?
But are you affirming?
True believers are beloved to God. Obviously,
Okay.
you ask me if I'm arrogant enough to say I know I'm perfect. I know that I'm solid with God. I've never had hypocrisy in my heart. No, the whole purpose of life.
That's not what I was saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So please follow me.
Sure.
You were talking about how in Islam you cannot refer to yourself as the beloved of God. That's what you said. But in Christianity,
Missed it.
you can.
Wrong.
And you are affirmed as the beloved of God. You specifically. That's what I'm saying.
You missed it.
And so, hold on.
I can just clarify that one point.
Go ahead.
There's a difference between me attributing it to myself versus the idea of people being beloved. That's the difference.
Okay, I know.
Great, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that in Christianity, with Jesus' theology, you can affirm that you are the beloved of God. Matter of fact, you can go confidently before God and affirm yourself as the beloved of God. This is what Jesus teaches.
The moment you become Christian?
The second you're a believer.
Right. So
the moment you're a believer.
There's no hypocrites. There's no such thing as hypocrites.
No, that has nothing to do with hypocrisy. Please focus. Focus.
Are you joking?
Dude,
The point is,
this guy is like I can't believe these are their scholars. Like they're like even stupider than your average Dawa guy. So when he first said the verse about falling away from your secured position, what verse are you talking about? You're talking about a verse that says that you can be secure. It's saying you don't fall away. So the point he's trying to make is that you can't have this confidence. But the warning is, lest you fall away from your secured position. So it's like the very verse he's going to is telling you, hey, guess what? As a Christian, you can have confidence, but you don't fall away. Don't apostatize. Don't be led away with the error, the error of the sinful and the wicked. Don't fall away. But rather, what do? You grow in grace. You grow in knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what you do. So the very verse he's going to try to say, like, hey, you guys shouldn't have confidence that you have salvation or something, is the verse that refutes him. And Jesus specifically said, you hear my words and you believe in him who has sent me, you have eternal life. John chapter 5, verse 24. He who hears my words and believes in him who has sent me has eternal life. And he shall not come into judgment, but has passed from death to life. You've passed from death to life. So you can have confidence and you can know that you have salvation in Jesus. It's not a confidence or like a boast in ourselves. It's a confidence in God. So the secure position he's talking about is something that you can be sure of in Christianity, whereas he's saying in Islam, you can't be sure of. You can't say in Islam that God loves you or you're his beloved. You can't say that in Islam.
Yeah, and it's just, it's really wild. He's saying, hey, God can say something. He can say, hey, I'm saying this about you, but you can't be like, hey, I can say this about myself because God says it, because how do I know I'm not a hypocrite? Weird stuff.
is that the theology that Jesus is preaching is opposite of the theology we're finding in Islam. So you can't say Jesus is a Muslim when he has the opposite theology, when he has the opposite idea of who God is, what he desires from us, who we are to God versus Islam. You can't say he's a Muslim. Talking about your past point.
No, can I respond to this?
Good point, by the way, guys. So they're going back and forth about what you can say about your status with God. And he's saying, no, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. And Avery's, yeah, that's the way it is in Islam. That's not what Jesus said. So he's not on board with your theology. So he's not a Muslim. Remember? Oopsie. He fell right into that, man.
In just a second.
Let him do his whole thing.
Let me
respond. I don't want to change the subject.
Are you going to change the subject?
Yes.
Well, I wanted to, because he mentioned a lot before this
about, about
the name of
Let me catch the blunder before he changes the subject.
No.
You don't want to catch on the blunder?
Bro, he got away with the Allah thing, with the term God.
Yes, you don't drop the term God. Look, yes.
I just want to do a quick response to that.
Hilarious. No. Because you just said every person that converts to Christianity, is now beloved the second they become Christian.
You let me know.
And that means they're all beloved. beloved. And they could say confidently that I'm beloved. That means what? That if they're all beloved and they're all correct and they're all saved, there are no hypocrites. He acted like he didn't get it. I know you got it.
That's not what that means. That's so silly.
I think the point of
Yeah, exactly.
I
There are
think-
hypocrites.
I personally think that the point of you explaining that Jesus teaches us that we're loved by God is like very important.
Yeah.
So I would like to kind of like stick to that point because I feel like the definition of a law thing is important, but
Yeah,
we're bouncing back and forth between two topics.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is because it brings a huge hole in his argument.
I just have to
on
pause
why
right here
Allah
because
takes
I
away-
know Avery is about to crush me on this point, but this right away, I'm thinking of like he's saying as Christians, you can't say that God loves you. Otherwise, you're affirming that everybody who claims to be a Christian is automatically. There's no such thing as a hypocrite. There's no such thing as a wolf in sheep's clothing. There's no such thing as any of that. That where is the logic in that? It doesn't follow at all. But here's the question: can you, as a Christian, say that God loves you? And does that say anything about whether you're a hypocrite or not? Look at how it's worded in the book of Romans chapter 8. This is a very famous passage in the book of Romans. What shall we say of these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? Who shall bring any charge against God's elect? God's elect, God's church, God's people. Who can bring a charge against God's people? You as a Christian. Who can bring a charge against you? It is God who justifies. Who condemns? Christ Jesus is the one who died. More than that, who raised at the right hand of God, who is indeed interceding for us. Watch this now. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? This is the question. It's a rhetorical question. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Tribulations,
death, nor
distress,
life.
persecution, famine, nakedness, danger, sword. Who shall separate us from his love? In other words, you can be confident. You can know that you are loved by God. As it is written, for your sake we are being killed all day long, and we are regarded as sheep to be slaughtered. No, it is in all things that we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am sure, what am I sure about? I am sure
Death,
that
nor
neither
life,
death,
nor angels, nor principality.
nor principalities, nor things to come, nor heights or depths, nor things in all creation.
Anything else in all creation shall be able to separate us from the love of Christ.
Boom.
I mean, from the love of God that is in Jesus Christ our Lord. Yeah.
It's as if this was written to refute this guy. Like this, it's like it's
That's why it's so insane. Like, you can read that, and just because some people may be fakes or hypocrites, you're not allowed to say that. It's like, that's insane, dude. That's insane. That's insane. God says this about us, and you're saying we can't say it because, well, what if I turn out to be some hypocrite who's faking?
wow.
That's weird stuff. Weird stuff. Hang on. Check this out. What is this mess right here? Look at this guy. Aspiring champion. What happened to learning about orthodoxy? Still doing it, buddy. JP Uncut and Mueller got embarrassed live a few times. Now we just dropped the topic wholesale. What was the purpose of me going through that stuff? Preparing to debate Jay Dyer, right? Who just announced that he's retiring from debate. Isn't that weird? This was last month. You have to debate Jay Dyer. Jay Dyer, you have to debate me or you're a grifter. You have to be debating this, debate me on the true church. And all, like, thousands of fans. Yeah, you got to debate Jay Dyer, Jay Dyer, Jay Dyer. And I said, okay, well, let me study this for a little bit. I'm not familiar with this topic. And they said, no, you have to debate it now. I was like, I have to debate now a topic that I've never studied once in my entire life. That's what you demand? Yes, you have to do it right now or you're running. You're a coward. Why won't you defend it? And I go, well, just let me study. Just let me study. No, you can't do it. You can't do that. And I start doing it. And then I start getting Eastern Orthodox people. And then they start liking it. Yeah, go, David. Go, David. And then a month later, Jay Dyer says, I'm retiring from debating this. Wait a minute. I thought you're a grifter if you don't debate this. You say, but he debated it in the past. Well, his reasoning is if you're not debating the true church, you're not focusing on that as your topic, then you're trying to spread the net as wide as possible to catch as many donations as you can. Okay, well, following that reasoning, and therefore you're a grifter, right? Following his reasoning, if he spent years debating this, and all of a sudden we say, okay, let's all gear up and debate this, and he says, no, I don't want to debate it anymore. I'm not debating anymore. I retire. Well, was that him realizing that his net was too small and he needs to Spread the net out more to get more donations? I wouldn't say that, but that's exactly what they all said about us. That's probably what you said, aspiring champion. You probably said that 50,000 times to us, didn't you? But let me guess, now that Jay says, I don't want to, so if you go back just a month, this is just a month ago, me saying, I'm not interested in this, guys. I'm not interested in debating this. I've got other things I want to do in life. No, you have to, or you're a grifter. You have to debate this, or you're a grifter. Okay, so I'm not interested. I'd rather focus on other things in my life, but I have to do this, right? Yes, you have to. And now Jay, I'm retiring. And guess what? His fans are fine with it, right? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? He can say, hey, I'm not interested in this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. And they go, that's a great job, great job. You guys are a bunch of clowns, man. Total cult. Look at this. The urgency isn't removed when you're still sending people to false churches and causing people to become atheist at worst. Oh, the urgency isn't removed? Why'd your top guy just retire then? The urgency isn't gone. Did the urgency go away for Jay Dyer? I mean, that's the most important thing in the world, right? It's urgent. It's urgent. We have to do this. And he says, yeah, I'm not interested in this anymore. There's more interesting things in the world. Really? Because I was saying there were things that were more interesting to me, things I wanted to focus on, and that was completely unacceptable. And now he's doing it. Do you condemn Jay Dyer? Aspiring Champion 16. Do you condemn Jay Dyer as a grifter who doesn't care about the true church and has stopped defending it because he's realized there are more important things than showing people what the true church is? Do you condemn him? We can wait. We can wait all day. This guy going to respond or what? All right, let's go on.
It is funny how that worked out, though. It's funny how that worked out. The whole Andrew Wilson thing was debate Jay Dyer. Every one of your comments for the next like 10 weeks was every ortho bro in the world saying debate Jay Dyer. Then he says he's not going to debate. You're in the middle of studying for the debate, and now he's not a grifter.
No, you don't have to do it.
He's not trying to widen the net.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. You know who that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Dawa guys, right?
Yeah.
Why are you running from Zuckernaik? Well, he doesn't debate anymore. Oh, yes, you see, but he doesn't have to because you all are beneath him. What a joke. All right, he posted a comment. Condemn Jay Dyer for what? He's converted more people to actual Christianity while you convert them to messianic synagogues. Really? Is that what I do? All right, dude. Look at what he just said. About? Dude, he's converted more people to actual Christianity, but he just said he's not interested in it anymore. He's not debating it anymore. So the urgency is no longer there, and it's simply not an important issue anymore, right? You're saying it's the most important thing in the world. We need to stop what we're doing and go focus on that. And he's saying, yeah, guys, they're more important. I want to talk about aliens and stuff.
Yeah,
aliens
UFOs are
and politics. I want to study all that stuff. Not the true church. Not the true church. Not interested anymore. All right, dude, you have revealed yourself as a clown and a cult follower. So go whine somewhere else. All right. Look at this. This guy can't be real. That's what it's like, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Dawa bros and the Ortho bros were made for each other. Fun times. But guys, guess what? Jay Dyer doesn't get to retire.
Uh-oh.
Jay Dyer doesn't get... I'm exercising my veto power here, guys. I'm going to demand that he debates.
You're going to hit him with a reverse...
Don't waste my time for a month. Come on.
Reverse Uno card?
Oh, yeah. Yep, he doesn't get to run. All right, here we go.
The term father or son and daughter because it's misused.
It's additional to God.
But
additional to God.
Unfortunately for him, the term Allah is misused as well. And they were calling the Messiah Allah.
Yeah.
So why doesn't he take away that? That destroys his entire argument that, oh, well, the only reason why it's not used anymore is because it was misused. No, because if that was the case, if he was consistent, the word Allah would be gone too. But it's not.
Yeah.
So you can't say that this is why the term father is no longer used. Matter of fact, you have to affirm that it was used before in Islamic theology and then show me where it's abrogated. That's what you have to do.
Great.
That's why that's important.
May I respond?
And I definitely get that. I feel like we've said that already like 2 to 3 times.
You know what's funny about this?
How many times
what's funny
is
about
father
this?
even?
Is that it's actually Islam, far from Islam to be like stop using terms that may have been misunderstood, which is what they're claiming is with the case with the term father, which is not misunderstood. It's rightfully understood. It's biblical. It's part of our tradition, etc. And it lasts until then until today. Like when God started using it, Old Testament times to today, it's been consistent. It's been understood. Now, it's actually Islam that repurposes terms that people associate with paganism or pagan rituals or things like. It's actually Islam that does these things. In fact, when Muhammad was doing like Hajj rituals, when they're doing like running naked around the Kaaba and things like that, and smooching and kissing on the black stone, in Muhammad's farewell sermon, he said, "Oh, this is the year you guys have to stop doing it with the pagans." So it means up until that time, that point in time, they were doing their ritual. They were just going right in with the pagans, doing the same things, the rituals, the going around it 7 times and whatever else they do, kissing, smooching black stones and throwing rocks at the devil or whatever. They're doing it with pagans. So they're not trying to disassociate apart from just saying, yeah, we just believe in one God. We affirm one God. You guys affirm these gods. We affirm one God. They're not different in any other way. In fact, Allah, like Avery's pointing out here, was used before Muhammad. Like Muhammad's, according to the tradition, his father, or so the sources say, his name is Abdullah, the servant of Allah. So this was a servant of a pagan god, and this pagan, he called him Allah. So Muhammad is not abandoning things that could be misunderstood or be associated with paganism. He's repurposing them and kind of like giving them like an Islamic baptism or of sorts, and making them Islamic now. Like, oh yeah, the pagans kissed the black stone, but we're gonna do it now. Now it's Islamic. Oh yeah, the pagans do the 7 times going around. Oh, but we're gonna do it now and call it Islamic. Oh, the pagans do this, but we're gonna. So it's not. It's the opposite of what this guy's saying.
It's the exact opposite, right? Guys, everyone catch that? It's not Allah going, oh, let me sanitize Islam from everything that anyone has ever misunderstood about God or anything else. What are you talking about? 7th century Arabia, Allah was a pagan deity worshipped by the pagans. So why not just come up with some new word or new name? And no, you don't get rid of a name just because people are misusing it. But you just said that's why he stopped using father. My goodness. And it's just, as with always in Dawah, it's just whatever you need to say in the moment. And if it doesn't work anywhere else, just start whining. Watch, I bet he starts whining. Let's see.
Mentioned in the Old Testament. There's a number of times that they're called the sons, and there's a number of times where he's called father.
And none of them apply to Allah.
And my point is that clearly this isn't like the standard name for God, right?
It's the standard identity for God.
No.
Yes.
Standard identity
Yes.
in the Old Testament is
Yes.
Yahweh.
That he is and it says Yahweh is your father. Who
How
created
many
you.
times?
A bunch.
Yes.
You got Isaiah multiple times.
Yes.
In Deuteronomy multiple times.
Yeah.
In Malachi multiple times.
And it also says Yahweh is your rock.
Okay,
Right?
absolutely.
And guess
That's who he
what?
is.
If people worship rocks, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, you should stop saying that God is a rock,
What a
because these literal
misrepresentation.
idolaters think that you're speaking literally. And you're going to say, no, don't get rid of the word rock. Let's hold on to the word rock. Get rid of the word God. That's your solution?
No, see, that was your solution. Come on, man. Follow along.
What is this? He keeps saying, it's so idiotic that you would suggest getting rid of a term just because it's misused and misunderstood. What's wrong with you? Are you stupid? That's what you said, dude. Avery didn't suggest that. He just took your role and said, okay, if you're consistent, then what about this? What about that? And the guy freaks out. It's amazing.
Put your own argument.
According to 1 Corinthians 10, the rock is Christ. So this is actually another instance to prove Jesus is actually God with the Israelites. So it's just kind of funny. The thing he's trying to attack us with actually proves that the Bible teaches that Jesus is God, because he is that rock. 1 Corinthians 10:4. He's that rock.
You're the one who said the solution is getting rid of the words, not me. That was your argument. So don't try to put on your stupid argument onto me. That was silly. I'm showing you.
No.
I'm showing you.
Ad
Yeah.
hominems.
Yeah. No, it's not. I'm not calling you stupid.
Sure.
The argument was dumb.
No,
But you're then applying.
IP said that for whatever reason, the Muslims didn't want to like sit in the room here because they're like behind the camera. For whatever reason, the Muslims didn't want to sit in this room here where they're doing the debate. So it's like IP, Christina, Life, and then the other sister, what's her name, Belle? Is it Belle, or is that her name?
Belle.
They were all sitting back there. So when he's over there pointing, he's talking to them, like he's trying to get them to go on his side. And apparently there was a couple points where they like couldn't help but like chuckle or something like that. He got really, really upset about that because there were no Muslims there. Like, hey, it's not our fault. The Muslims didn't want to come. Maybe the Muslims didn't want to sit down with them. I'm not sure what their excuse is. But when he's doing that kind of thing, like gesturing and stuff like that, he's probably pointing like IP or life or something like that. And he's like, "You guys see? He's doing the dominating language. You see?"
I can't imagine they'd be on Dr. Nasser's side on this. He's getting cooked here. And can you guys believe this? I made a stupid argument, and then when he used the exact same argument to point out my hypocrisy, I pointed out what a stupid argument that was, and then he pointed out that no, that's your stupid argument. Oh my goodness, you see this? Why is he calling my what's with the ad hominems? What's with the ad hominems?
They're probably sitting there laughing, and this guy's trying to like get him on his side. He's like, "You see this? You see this?"
The argument to me, like that's my position. Let me be clear to you. My position is not, let's get rid of the word because people misuse it. Guess who said that, ladies and gentlemen? Dr. Nasser said that. I'm saying that you can correct the meaning and give them like, hey, like for example.
Okay, hold on. Let's run with this.
Let me finish.
Let's run with this.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You can correct the meaning that yes, God is your rock.
He keeps looking back at them.
Yeah.
In this way, not that God is an actual literal rock in
from like IP and life. He's like trying to get more Muslims because the Muslims didn't want to sit down and be with them. So he's like, "Hey, IP, come on, man, give me some moral support."
You got to be on my side, man. You got to be on my side here.
An object.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with the word. It's the meaning that's the problem. But with you guys, it's meaning and terminology. For Father, it's wrong. You're a disbeliever. You're going to hell. You cannot refer to Allah as your Father. Never have, never can, never will. So for you to pretend like this is once okay in some way, or, oh, you know what? Not the word, but I see what you guys are talking about. As a Muslim, you cannot. Which is why when you bring up, hold on. Which is why when you bring up Jesus speaking to Jews, this is what I wanted to touch on specifically.
Okay.
Jesus,
don't let him change the
Jesus
subject.
speaking to Jews. I'm on the same thing. Trust me.
Yallah, go for it.
When you talked about who did Jesus talk to the Jews, right? So he talked to them in a way that they would understand, correct?
Yeah,
this is an analogy that Jesus gave them, a parable. He said that there was a vineyard owner who gave his vineyard, let the tenants borrow his vineyard. Watch, just pay attention. I promise it's going to click.
I got to write these down because I have a response for both.
Well, no, just pay attention.
Go for it.
He said that there's tenants that the vineyard owner gives, lets them borrow.
21, Matthew
Then
21,
he goes away. He then sends servants. Yeah, I'm glad you know it. He then sends servants to go collect the produce of the vineyard. But when he sends his servants, guess what? They kill him, they reject him, they put him out, beat them. Then what does he do? Then he says, you know what? I'll send my son. They will surely respect my son. And then when the son appears, they say, oh, this is the heir, the one who is the inheritor. If we take him and kill him, we can take his inheritance. They kill him and throw him outside. Jesus says, what do you think he's going to do to those tenants? They say he's going to destroy them, take them and give the vineyard to someone else. So notice what Jesus does. The tenants is Israel. The servants being sent to Israel, the prophets. The son of the vineyard owner, who is God, is Jesus. Jesus makes a distinction between himself as the Son of God and the prophets and Israel. Is that okay for Jesus to do? To separate himself as the unique Son of God apart from the servants, the prophets, and apart from Israel?
Ouch, right? Because keep in mind, this is Jesus should have been, according to Dr. Nasser's Jesus should have been trying to clear up terminology as well with his revelations, right? And what does Jesus do? So keep in mind, if you're talking about, if Dr. Nasser's view is that referring to God as Father is metaphorical, well, wouldn't the exact same relationship apply to Jesus as applied to other people, right? Other people, and you say, well, other people might be hypocrites and stuff, but not the prophets. The prophets, they're definitely good. Okay, Jesus draws a distinction between himself as the Son and other prophets. Yeah. In other words, if he's like, if it's if it's super important for him to clarify terminology and so on, why is he claiming to be the Son in a unique sense that sets him apart even from God's prophets? Was he trying to create mass confusion? Pretty brutal, pretty brutal. All right, let's see.
Can I speak? Can I have a
Absolutely.
about
On the
a
floor.
Go ahead.
Please.
No interruptions.
If you can respond to this directly.
As long as you don't interrupt, that'd be great.
I'd give you like 5 minutes because he cooked you.
So, God is the literal thing of what we're talking about, right? We're talking about God.
Yeah.
Father is figurative. It
Okay.
makes sense to get rid of the figurative meaning when it's causing problems. Just imagine if somebody says this idol is our creator, and then he's suggesting get rid of the term creator.
He's back on this again, too. Did you not hear a word he just said? If the goal is to clear up the terminology, Jesus is the one confusing everybody. If all he means is, God's creator or something like that, well, if that's all you mean by calling God Father, then guess what? God created all the Jews. He created all the non-Jews. He created everything. Everything that exists, God created it. So he's the Father in that sense. Why would Jesus be calling himself the Son in a unique sense that not only sets him apart from all of creation, not only in a way that sets himself apart from all Jews, he sets himself apart from all prophets. So this term, Son, makes him greater and more important than any other prophet. Why would he do that if he's trying to clean up the terminology and Allah doesn't want to cause confusion? Why?
Yeah, and I think and Avery's making a really really smart point here. So he's saying, okay, so you're saying that it's the Jews that understand this terminology. They understand what Father means. They understand what Son means. Well, how do they understand Jesus? They're like, oh, you're trying to make yourself equal to God. They're saying, Caiaphas
That's what they
asked
say.
him. He goes, are you the Christ? Are you the Son of God? Is that who you are? Is that who you're claiming to be? And then Jesus says it is as you say, and he tears his robe, right? He tears, and because he hears, he thinks it's blasphemy. So it's not just, and then John 19 verse 7, we have a law because he claimed to be the Son of God. It's like, well, wait a minute. I thought Son of God was just cool. Like anybody could be the Son of God. Anyone could just call the Son of God. But so the Jews who understand this terminology are actually saying that there's a problem
Yep.
with Jesus using this terminology of himself, because they understand that means that he's more than just a righteous person, a righteous prophet, a righteous king. He's more than that. He's the Messiah, the Son of God. But what does Son of God mean to them? Well, they thought they had to put him to death for it. So it's something. It's not just like, oh yeah, it's just a righteous person. That's not that's not how they understood it. So you were going to appeal to the Jewish culture. How did the Jews understand Jesus when he said he's the Son of God?
Mm-hmm. And and not just the Jewish leaders, like Jesus' own followers. Basically, there were two categories of people: those who believed what Jesus said, and those who rejected what Jesus said. Those who believed what he said started bowing down and worshiping him as the Son of God. Those who rejected what he said this guy has to die for calling himself the Son of God. What's that mean? It means that Jesus was like the worst communicator ever, except for Allah and Muhammad, of course, because every time we quote Allah and Muhammad, we find out they mean something completely different from what they say. But now he wants to do that with Jesus. Jesus was just so hopelessly unclear that neither his followers nor his opponents ever understood what he was saying. Okay, this is what we say, guys. This makes sense in the mind of Dawah guys. We have to defend Islam, and it sounds good to them. It always leads to blasphemous nonsense and insults against God and Jesus every single time. All of Dawah is blasphemous nonsense. They just don't see it.
Yeah. Someone in the chat said the Jews must have understood that Jesus is claiming to be Ozair.
Yeah. Wait, we were fine with all the other stuff, but now that you're calling yourself Uzair.
But creator is a literal term because he literally created us. We're going to throw out that term? No, I'm fine throwing out figurative terms. If that is an issue, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Throw out literal terms, that God is our creator. Oh, guys, they called this one creator, so we have to throw it out. Please tell me that's clear to you, because that is a bad argument. Now, point number 2, unfortunately for you.
He just said your argument is bad.
No, that's what I'm saying. That is not Avery's argument.
Yeah.
It's your argument. You're saying, what a terrible argument. What a dumb argument. What kind of idiot would use this argument? It's your argument. Avery does not believe that argument. He thinks that's stupid. Which is what's amazing. You guys agree that the argument is stupid. But it's your argument that you two agree is stupid. What is wrong with you, dude?
They do this all the time. You always have to parallel their arguments back to them, and like you say, you have to switch the ingredients a little bit. So you have like, oh, where did Jesus say, "I'm God, worship me"? Okay, where did Jesus in the Quran say he's the Messiah? Oh, he doesn't need to say that. It's a very dumb argument. Allah says that. Oh, wait a minute. That's your argument, though. Did you just switch Jesus calling himself the Messiah to Jesus saying, "I am God, worship me"? Although we can show Jesus saying he's God, but it's just, I'm saying you use their arguments against them, and then they say it's a stupid argument. It's like, well, that's your argument, dude. Not sir. This is your argument. This is Avery using your argument, getting you to acknowledge that it's a dumb argument. And the distinctions he's making with, oh, Allah cannot be misunderstood. Surely Allah can't be misunderstood, but Father can. It's like, who's making these distinctions? Like, who told? Like your point about the plural pronouns and things like that. That was clearly misunderstood according to Muslims. But Allah doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about changing people's minds when it comes to that.
Yeah, weird.
You just said your argument's bad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, that's been your argument the whole
Look,
time.
man, you don't have to always posture like you're winning. I get it.
Let's
I
go.
get it. You have to always posture like you're
I
winning.
saw
I
this
know
clip.
it hurts.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
This guy's always winning. He's
He's looking at
It's
IP.
so sad, right?
Look,
Look, man, if you need your ego that badly
I'm
to be,
chilling, bro.
at what point do you stop interrupting?
Okay.
Chilling.
No, because he has to keep reminding the audience that he's winning. Otherwise, they might think that
You're
he's not
reminding
winning.
him I'm winning. I didn't say that.
So he speaks, I'm quiet, right? When I speak, he has to
ahead.
remind them, guys, I'm better. Guys, I'm winning.
Bro,
guys, I'm right.
go
He just said he's
ahead.
wrong. Right. I just said I'm
He's
wrong.
upset.
What just happened?
He just crashed. This is
Yeah,
crash out
you
number
used an argument.
250.
You used an argument. He changed the ingredients and used the exact same argument. And then you said, that is the dumbest argument ever. What kind of idiot would use that argument? And he said, it's your argument. Oh, is he going to keep interrupting me? What is this? Why do you have to be winning? Huh? Why do you have to be posturing all the time? What do you...
Oh man, this is such a crash out. This is crazy,
This is
man.
massive crash out.
Nice.
Did you see?
Let's just let him go.
Yeah, I am.
What did he do? He's-
Bro, look.
all he did was say, it's your argument, dude. It's your argument that you just called stupid.
Louder and more confident, please.
Okay. Please
Thank
just
you.
finish your point.
Fantastic. Now, Matthew 21 doesn't help you very much.
Perfect.
Because we're talking about people understanding in context, right? And so what did the people understand in context? When you go through the entire parable, at the end of it, apparently there was a bunch of Pharisees, and they wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to do something to harm him. And everybody concluded in the crowd, they were like, we can't attack him or do anything bad to him because there's all these people that believe in him, and they believe that he is clearly the Son of God. No, wait, that's not what it says. What does the final verse say? What did all the people conclude? Is Jesus a really bad orator? Is he really bad at communication? Or
According to you, he called himself the Son.
is it possibly the case that after giving that entire parable, the people who clearly believed in him and understood exactly what he meant and actually wanted to support him concluded that he's a what? What is the final word in that entire passage? That they concluded he was a what?
Prophet.
Matthew 21, guys. What did they conclude that he was?
We're trying not to cut you off.
Prophet.
Yeah, because if
He's
I
like,
engage,
he's
he gonna
like,
be.
don't interrupt me. And he's like begging him to interject in his time now. And he's like, do you want me to talk or not? Because if I talk, you're gonna say, oh,
Yeah.
why are you posturing? Why are you
If
interrupting me?
Avery
Do you want to-"
responded, he'd go, what's going on? Why is he interrupting?
Yeah.
He gonna
If
cry.
you ask
so-
questions, he's gonna respond, and then
Very nice.
yeah.
They concluded he was a prophet. And so I am perfectly fine understanding that when those people in that context use certain language and they come to certain conclusions, especially the sincere ones around him that want to
Hold on
understand
one
him,
second.
and they did
I'll
it.
just pull it up real quick. So it's funny because he keeps talking about the rock. Oh, Matthew 21:42. Jesus said to them, have you never read in the scriptures, the stone, the word that he's going after, the stone, the rock, the stone, which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. This was the Lord's doing. So it's just kind of funny that the term he keeps going after and after. Jesus is applying it to himself. And yeah, so.
Let's see what happens here.
Good job of understanding him. Conclude that he's a prophet. Then I'm going to conclude the same thing.
Number one, Romans 5:8 says that while we were still sinners, that God shows his love for us, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So unlike Islam, where Allah only loves those who believe, he does not love the unbeliever, Christ, Jesus, loved the disbeliever and the sinner while we were still in rebellion against him. Complete different. Matthew 21. You said that you conclude that Jesus is a prophet after all of this.
They did.
Well, and you said that you will do the same. So don't distance yourself from it. You said you do the same. I want to ask you then. So you affirm that in Matthew 21, when Jesus calls himself the Son of God, distinct from the prophets and distinct from Israel, the one who inherits what God owns and the heir of God, you're saying that he's a good Muslim prophet saying that?
May I respond?
Yes, please. Directly, though.
Yes. Let me clarify. I am not saying that I agree with everything being said in the Bible. I already said this. I already made this clear. My initial position is that I'm not affirming everything. You're affirming it, so I'm trying to argue from your position. If you believe in this passage and you're saying clearly, it's so obvious, anybody with half a brain is going to figure out that he's clearly the Son of God, I'm pointing out to you that the people at the time who spoke that language and knew that culture and were listening to his words, if you're going to call him the Logos, maybe he knows how to talk, right? Maybe he knows how to communicate. And if they all came to the wrong conclusion, then that's kind of a problem. So if that story actually took place, and if those people made that conclusion, then I can understand why they would conclude he's a prophet. But am I asserting that everything in these Gospels are 100% true? No, but I'm saying that generally speaking, when you look at scholarship, as they have, the earlier you go in terms of the Bible passages, you find that the Christology is very low. And as you get further and further away from Jesus, the Christology gets higher and higher. So what you have are scholars concluding that Jesus was a Jewish.
Was this from a century ago, dude?
Messianic
Yeah, this is an old script.
preacher,
Old script.
apocalyptic preacher. And so therefore, that is in line with Islam. Does that mean I affirm everything in the Bible?
Brother, you're going way off of what I asked you. Can I?
Yeah. Notice in the parables, right? Jesus talks about his parables and why he speaks in parables. Jesus explains why he speaks in parables. He talks about other people not understanding them, and right?
Yep.
He tells that parable, and even the religious leaders, the educated religious leaders, they get ticked off, but they still can't figure it out. It says they perceived that he was speaking against them, right? Wait, that's all you took away from that? That's all you took away from that, right? They're struggling to interpret parables, and Jesus is speaking of himself in the third person in the parable. In other words, he gives a parable about something, about a topic they would have been familiar with, getting a vineyard and so on, and hiring workers to work the vineyard and stuff like that. And then he talks about some people in there, and he talks about the sun. What are the odds if even the religious leaders had trouble figuring out what he's saying and so on, because you have to process this stuff for a while. We're looking in hindsight, right? We're looking at this in hindsight. What are the odds that everyone just understands it? Pretty slim. But yeah, them calling him a prophet there, that's not, as a result of this parable, we are inferring that you are calling yourself a prophet. It says the religious leaders, they want to get violent with him because they understand that he's criticizing and condemning them. So they want to do something that says, but they got to worry about the crowds because they hold Jesus as a prophet. That's not them interpreting Jesus as he's a prophet in this parable. It's just they regard him as a prophet, and the religious leaders are worried about what's going to happen if they go and attack this guy who's performing all these miracles, and people are saying there's a prophet. So you have to actually deal with what Jesus is saying. He clearly draws a distinction between himself as the Son and all the prophets who came before him. Yes. You can't say, well, people didn't get it, and they called him a prophet because that's what they've been calling him. Therefore, he didn't say that. He'd been calling himself the Son. What you find at his trial is they demanded clarification. Tell us exactly what you mean by these terms. And when he became crystal clear, because keep in mind, you can say we're children of God. They're fine with that. You can say, hey, I'm a son of God. You're a son of God. You're a daughter of God. You're a daughter of... You can say that. They're fine with it, unless you mean something more than just in the sense of, God's our Father who created us all. Jesus clearly was meaning something far beyond that when he's talking about himself being the Son. And once they got him on trial and made it crystal clear, then they said, this guy has to die. So it just sucks that Dr. Nasser wasn't there to explain, no, he just means he's a prophet with all this stuff. It would have been good to clarify that.
Yeah,
Because then, all his followers who ended up committing shirk by worshiping him, and then everyone else who says he has to die. Notice everyone's guilty by the end. That's the real takeaway in Islam. That's why I said everything, it sounds good to Muslims on the surface. Once you dig a little deeper, it's nothing but blasphemous nonsense. By the end, by the time Jesus is done, there's two categories of people. There's people who are rejecting him. They're all going to hell for rejecting a prophet, according to Islam. And then there are people bowing down and calling him Lord. They're going to hell for shirk, according to Islam. So the result of Jesus being a spirit from Allah, the word of Allah, being born of a virgin, living the most miraculous life ever, the result of all of this is everyone's going to hell. And that's their view of Jesus. And they claim to respect Jesus more than we do. Sick, evil stuff.
Yeah. And this idea that people concluding or taking away, oh yeah, he's deemed as a prophet, as if like that's all they understood him to be saying, is also contradicted by everything else you just said. Like, they're also understood to be calling himself the Son of God, which they say we have a law saying that he should be put to death for that. Like, why? Because he's calling himself the Son of God. And then, even before Pilate, what does Pilate say? Pilate, he asked Jesus, "Are you the King of the Jews?" And Jesus, it's a, "You have said so." Jesus replied, "You have said so." So they understood that so the Messiah is like this grand kind of like these anointed things, categories of things in the Old Testament. Like you have prophets that were anointed, kings that were anointed, priests that were anointed, and then there's also God himself in Psalm 45. Therefore, God, your God, has anointed you. So all of the categories is the Messiah, God, the ultimate king, the ultimate prophet, the ultimate priest. That's who the Messiah is. So just saying, oh yeah, they took him to be the prophet or a prophet, doesn't exclude any of these other things. It doesn't mean it's compatible with Islam either. Like the way that, if we're suggesting is that the way that the Jews understood Jesus is compatible with Islam, that's ridiculous. Obviously, they're constantly saying you're making yourself equal with God, So why are they constantly trying to, put him to death for before Abraham was, I am, and then they pick up stones and stone him? They're understanding him to say that he's more than just a mere man, more than just a mere prophet, that he's something greater, something more.
And what you actually find in the Bible is that he sort of eases people into this because it's pretty shocking stuff. And you see, even his disciples that he's with constantly, it takes them years just to get their minds around the idea that he's going to die. And they don't get it until it's actually been done. They still don't get, the Messiah, the Son of, he's going to die? What? It makes no sense. They can't figure this stuff out.
Yeah, it says he had to open their eyes. He had to open their eyes to the scripture.
So he starts using terms like Son of Man and Son of God and stuff. And well, guess what? There's a way you're allowed to use these terms, and there's a way you're not allowed to use these terms. And so he's using these terms, and it's okay, how is he using these terms, right? And he keeps easing people into greater and greater understanding of what he means until the leaders are like, this guy has to die. This guy has to die for saying this stuff. But these guys are going back and forth on Matthew 21. This is a perfect example, right? So Jesus tells a parable. You couldn't legally execute him if you wanted, because he's not making it crystal clear what he's saying in there. It's just, hey, this guy in the parable is the Son, and he's distinct even from the other prophets and so on. That's Matthew 21. You keep reading. Right after that, you've got Matthew 22. Look what happens at the end of Matthew 22, guys. Let me read it for you. Now, while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them a question, saying, "What do you think about the Christ? Whose son is he?" They said to him, "The son of David." He said to them, "How is it then that David, in the Spirit, calls him Lord, saying, 'The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet'? If then David calls him Lord, how is he his son?" And no one was able to answer him a word, nor from that day did anyone dare to ask him any more questions. Notice what he did, guys. He said, hey, whose son is the Messiah? They say, son of David. This is why does David call him Lord? The Lord said to my Lord. So David calls the Messiah his Lord. How is he how is he merely the son of David when David is calling him Lord? What's he trying to get across here? That the Messiah, the Son, is divine, right? He's unpacking this as he goes on. But all of this is messed up from Dr. Nasser's perspective. Jesus is just a terrible communicator. Weird stuff.
Thank you. So
No, I don't affirm the Bible. I don't affirm the Bible. But if I were to accept that passage, and I would say he's a prophet, because they did too.
I got you.
Thank
So my question wasn't whether or not you accept him as a prophet. That's good. I already know you do that. That wasn't my question. My question was based on what you said, that based on the parable, them concluding that Jesus is a prophet, and you would too. That's what you said. I also conclude that he's a prophet based off of this. So my question is this. Can Jesus be a Muslim? Would a good Muslim prophet give a parable where he claims to be the Son of God, distinct from the prophets and distinct from the nation of Israel, as the heir of God and the one who inherits what God owns? Is that a Muslim prophet?
No, definitely not.
Thank you. You just affirmed Jesus is not a Muslim in the Bible.
No, so yeah, exactly right. That I told.
Oh,
Wow.
It was over right there, guys. Oh, my goodness. Did you guys catch that? Hey, so Jesus there, calling himself the Son, distinguishing himself from Israel and from the prophets, and he's the Son. Is that an Islamic prophet kind of thing to do? No, it's not. Okay. And what did Aver said? He said, Jesus in the Bible is definitely not a Muslim prophet. Now, notice that's so here he can say, well, the Bible's just wrong or something like that, but he would have to admit, based on this, the Jesus of the Bible is not a Muslim. He's not a Muslim. He's definitely not a Muslim prophet. Can't be. And by the way, guys, this Son of God, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. It's all over the place in the scriptures. The Father identifies Jesus as the Son. The Holy Spirit identifies Jesus as the Son. The angel Gabriel identifies Jesus as the Son. John the Baptist, prophet according to Islam as well, identified Jesus as the Son. His disciples repeatedly identify him as the Son. Martha identifies him as the Son. The Roman soldiers identify him as the Son at his crucifixion. Even demons identify him as the Son. As he's casting them out, they say, we know who you are, Son of God.
Yep.
And the only ones who don't identify him as the Son of God were the Jews who rejected him, and they're condemning him for claiming to be the Son of God. What's this mean? If we know anything about what Jesus was saying, we know he was calling himself the Son of God, right? It's all over the place. It would be, if you want to say the Quran affirms the gospel in general, but not in every day. Okay, that's general. That's part of the general. Jesus being the Son is general in the gospel that the Quran tells us to judge by. So I want to see where Dr. Nasser is going to go now.
I already conceded that a long time ago. I already conceded there are plenty of biblical passages that I completely don't understand and don't know how to reconcile whatsoever, because, like I said, you guys say that he becomes a curse. All right, this is no. I definitely don't agree with the Bible. So my point is this: there are other passages,
He takes
for
on
example,
the curse of sin.
like Luke 2:15.
Yeah, they freak out about that, right?
Dude, yeah, he takes on the curse of sin, the punishment of sin, the consequence of sin. He takes that on. That's the whole point of the crucifixion. That he's taking on. I mean, part of what's going on there is also multifold. What's happening on the cross. But part of it is atonement. Part of it is reconciling the world to God. Part of it is, giving, conquering death, defeating death, etc. But part of it is also that the punishment that was due to us, he's taking on himself. That curse, that punishment, he's taking on himself. So I don't know. Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what. I mean, that's really simple to understand. It's like what.
Oh boy, I expected more from this guy. Don't know why, but the Muslims and but our scholars, and I think, okay, maybe we're gonna. And I say that the answers don't get better, but you always think you might be wrong, and Not wrong. Take a couple super chats here. AP was doing his best Jeff Hardy impression, huh? Just Swanton bombed his desk. Yeah, so Jeff Hardy's a wrestler. So they bring the table every once in a while into the ring. Or they had the tables beside the ring and stuff, and people would crash through those. At least it wasn't the bookshelf. Wingalings would have never let AP live that down. Don't cat humans always land on their feet? Yeah, you'd think so. Maybe he's not a real cat human. The Allah versus Allah dilemma. Does God have a name? Yeah, they've all been misused, so Allah can't use a name anymore. Your stream I saw yesterday, the car company was Rolls-Royce. The car was called Silver Mist. Mist in German equals crap, hence the car not selling. You sent me a different example of that, right? With the Pinto?
Yeah, Pinto. Yeah.
So apparently
Anyone
this has happened multiple times.
Yeah.
This has happened multiple times when people have a product and they're selling it in some other country. They don't realize it means something completely different, and they have to change
That's
the
a good
word.
one. So it's called the Mist. Okay, we'll write that one down. All right, how come if you didn't know that? You should have known that.
Raul Julia was sick and dying, and Major Bison was his last character he played. He took it because his kids love Street Fighter. R.I.P. to Hey, I said all that. That's true. Allah Knows Best should be a 50s style sitcom. Yep, like Father Knows Best. Wouldn't Allah be the mother of the believers? Yes. Don't worry, all that's coming out. Guys, my favorite thing in the world is to say, hey, you guys just destroyed yourself. Here's what I'm about to come out with. And then to just let it go for a little while, and they think, oh, cool, it's not coming out. And then bam, right in your face when you least expect it. So yeah, that'll probably be this week. That'll probably be this week.
By the way, people are pointing out other things as well, like the Chevy Nova. Nova, someone said in Spanish, means no go. So there's a lot of jokes that people make with car names. Yeah.
You suck. I sucked. We're both mahram now. Christians have majority standard Bible, but for a long time, Muslims have had a minor's variant Quran, 100% Aisha approved. She was 9 years old, yeah. Minor approved. Jay Dyer can't even fart except by the command of D. Wood. God doesn't love hypocrites, yet while we were still sinners, he died for us. Yeah, Avery brought up that issue. I would rather...
Oh, that's the point. Someone who is like in sin can still say, yeah, God loves me. And that's still compatible with what the Bible says. Like they can say that.
And
whether
keep in mind,
they love him or not is another story, but they can say, he loves me.
Yeah, and I pointed this out yesterday and tons of times before that. This is connected to them viewing themselves as nothing but slaves of Allah. If you are a slave, can you say, I am beloved of my master? Well, you could if you're being really good and stuff like that, but if you're you might not know. And so you don't know. And maybe I'm going to do something tomorrow, and then my master is not going to love me anymore because I did something wrong. That's their mentality. Mm-hmm. If like one of my sons right now, do you think one of my sons is thinking to himself, oh man, if I don't do well on this test tomorrow, then my dad's not going to love me anymore? You think they're thinking like that? No, children don't think like that of their parents. They might not want to disappoint their parents or something like that. They don't think, oh man, I'm going to mess up and my parents aren't going to love me anymore, right? So, but that's kind of the point, right? It's Jesus was affirming that. Jesus was affirming that perspective, and it completely goes against the Islamic perspective, which means he's not a Muslim. Let's see. I would much rather listen to why Sneeko is a Muslim than ever listen to this scholar Nasser. It's so hard to listen to non-answers. Zut. Yeah. Hey, maybe we should have a debate on the night of all Zut with him. Off topic, but do you think there's a case for Ezekiel bread being an actual scientific miracle, or would it have just been a recipe that people would have known was very nutritious? Maybe if it lasted a long time or something like this, there was something. But no, as far as the ingredients and so on, I don't think there's any indication. I mean, it's some pretty nutritious stuff, what was going into that. So it's a good recipe there. I think there are people who actually make the Ezekiel bread going with the same recipe. So you can try it. Allah only made it seem like it wasn't abrogated. Yep, he did a good job. Nasser should change his name to Whiner Whinyman. He is good at whining. Focusing on orthodoxy makes you a grifter. Yeah, I know. What prophet had the authority to forgive sins? Good question. According to the Quran, only Allah. Skit idea. Mo Hijab and Duck Lips try speed dating. Duck Lips puts on a hijab that only shows his lips instead of his eyes, and Mo Hijab, yeah, does his duck lips. This debate strengthened my iman. The defensive tone and insults of Dr. Nasser prove his hikmah. May Dawood also fall through his desk, inshallah. This is powerful. Nasser, I reject what the prophet says and agree with what the people misunderstood him to say. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. Right. So Jesus, hey, I'm the son. I'm the son. I'm the son. Oh, but some people in the crowd said he's a prophet, so I'm going to go with that. D. Wood, did you watch the latest Ayaan Hirsi Ali video? Looks like she's no longer just a cultural Christian. Well, that was a couple years ago. No, I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her recent stuff, but you know, she was clearly not just a cultural Christian anymore a while back. Mark 8:28-29, Jesus was not satisfied with being only a prophet. So much more goes into being the Messiah. Islam is just incompatible with the Bible. Yeah. And again, Avery's taken him through steps, and now he's up to the point where the Jesus of the Bible, definitely not a Muslim prophet. So where else are you going? And where they're going is, well, Muhammad said it. So that's really why they believe anything. Muhammad said it. So the most glaringly obvious false prophet in history says a bunch of things that completely contradict everything we know about history. And what we can just mindlessly go along with it. Yeah, you can, but that's just stupid. In Portugal, the Hyundai Kona had to get the name changed because Kona in Portuguese means female private part, but the slang, apparently this has happened like tons and tons of times. Orthobros reject D. Wood as a Christian. Maybe your corrupted scriptures has something to do with all you guys being so confused. That's a good point. Nasser said Moses was greater than Jesus in one of his shorts. What? Says all you need to know. Whoa, yeah, that'd be pretty rough. Thanks to the Quran reveals the truth and the false. If you say so. All right, let's get back to this.
Too, right? Jesus is growing in wisdom, right?
What does that have to do with him being a Muslim?
Because men grow in wisdom. And so so let me explain.
Okay.
The Muslim version of Jesus is that he's a man. He's a prophet and he's growing in wisdom. Do you think that this passage is referring to Jesus as just a man, or do you assert that this is talking about Jesus, the hypostatic union, both fully man, fully God?
It's talking in regards to his humanity
topic,
for
dude.
sure.
So there you go. So how many? So here's my question. Let me follow up.
We're not talking about whether or not Jesus is God.
Let me ask you.
There we go. He's trying to divert it to whether Jesus got the topic was Jesus a Muslim. Was Jesus a Muslim?
Jesus could be just a mere man and not be a Muslim.
My question is this.
How does this prove he's
in fact, what you would say is if Jesus is a mere human being, but he's saying all of these things about himself being the son, then you'd say he's a mere human being, but definitely not a Muslim, right? You can't be committing the worst possible sin in Islam is shirk. Calling yourself the son of God would be shirk. And not only would it be shirk, but if you're teaching everyone else to call you that's your identity, you would not just be committing the worst possible sin, you would be encouraging literally billions of people to commit the same sin. So if Jesus wasn't who he claimed to be, he should be condemned by Muslim as the greatest spreader of shirk the world has ever seen. Instead, no, he's a devout Muslim prophet. Okay, well, now you just sound stupid and insane.
Muslim.
Let me explain. How many passages would you say in the Bible are strictly affirming his humanity?
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
So would you say those are all Muslim?
I would admit, so many years ago, Matt Slick did a debate with Shadid Lewis, and the debate was on like the deity of Jesus, and the entire Shadid Lewis kept saying he's anthropo, like he's the man, and Matt Slick was like, yeah, amen. We say amen to all those passages that say guess what, we affirm that. but what you're missing out is all the passages that affirm his divine nature, his deity. And so it was like the funniest thing, because Shadid's like entire point the entire time was just going to all the passages that show that Jesus really
we
has
believe Jesus was a man, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
The only group it would be relevant to point out that Jesus was in fact a man. The only groups that would be relevant to point out about would be like the Gnostics and the Docetists,
Gnostics.
who
Yeah,
affirm
exactly.
that he's just divine. Right? And they
Yeah.
say, look, all these passages saying he was a human being. Yeah. Did you read the part about the incarnation? Right? Did you read John chapter 1? Did you read Philippians chapter 2? Yeah, we're quite aware. Oh my goodness. This is Dawa.
There's versions of Jesus
No.
as a man.
No.
Are they Christian versions?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's just a man?
No,
Christian?
number
How does that
one,
unit-
number
does
one,
that- does that unit go in and out with
number
each
one-
other?
Just a
number
man.
one, it doesn't say that he's just a man. It affirms his humanity. It never says that he's just a man. That's number one.
Is he a God or not?
Number two, notice what you're doing here. Notice the shift. Now you're trying to shift to the deity of Christ when that's not the subject. Let me, for the sake of this imaginary world, let's say Jesus is not God for the sake of this conversation.
Smart move.
Prove he's a Muslim.
Because he submitted himself
He just-
to one God as a
Ooh.
prophet.
So
Which guy?
Nasser's like, he's saying smart move. Like Avery's saying, let's stick to the topic,
Yeah.
because now you want to go off to is Jesus God or not. So he's constantly wanting to change topics, and Avery's like, let's not do that. And then he goes smart move, like as if that's like a gotcha or something like that. Like that, I'm gonna keep to the topic of the debate. Oh, smart move.
Yeah, because
Like-
guys, those are your options. Either Jesus was who he claimed to be, in which case not a Muslim, or he wasn't who he claimed to be and who's committing all kinds of shirk, in which case he wasn't a Muslim. And so he's just saying, okay, you want to argue Jesus was just a man? Go with that. Not a Muslim.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is built on like this like deceptive kind of framing. Anyway, I know you guys discussed this, yesterday's stream, because like the whole topic is just completely deceptive. Like Muslims are saying, I'm Muslim, you should become Muslim. Oh, by the way, Jesus was a Muslim, and like everybody is understanding what Muslim means here, and you just keep using the same word applying to the same people. But that's not. But now all of a sudden Muslims are not saying that. They're saying, oh no, it just means he submitted. That's all it means when we say it about Jesus. It just means he submitted. That's all that it means. But if you become a Muslim, it doesn't just mean you submit. All these like this rule book, everything in the Quran says you need to affirm that. Like that's what it means to be a Muslim. It's like this whole deceptive. It's all just built on deception. Everything that they do is built on deception.
That's Dawa.
The creator of the universe.
Who did he say that was?
I believe the term he used was it Adonai?
No, he didn't use that.
What's the term that he used in the
He
Bible?
used Abba.
No, not
You know-
always.
Did he use Abba?
Couple things, guys. So that would be curious in the Greek. So Adonai, in the Hebrew. But what Avery is going for was Abba, so Father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jesus said he was submitting to the Father, which, why is he spreading this term that had caused so much confusion, guys?
Yeah. This is one of these viral clips, by the way, right here. This is one of the viral clips right here.
And notice the issue, guys, because Dr. Nasser's position is that the Quran is abrogating the use of this term father and son, the father and son language and so on, because it caused so much confusion. Okay, who caused it? Jesus caused it. So you're telling me Allah sent Jesus with this message. Did he know it was going to cause such tremendous confusion? And he just let that confusion spread for centuries until Muhammad comes along and says, no, Jesus is just a prophet. And then we look back and we go, that doesn't line up with what Jesus said at all. Oh, that's just because you're confused. Confused by what? By all the things that Jesus said? So Jesus is kind of the villain of the language villain here, right? He's the one like filling everyone's heads with terrible ideas.
Yeah. You might want to back it up, because this was one of the viral clips right here. This whole moment right here, this whole segment.
All right, let's see.
Notice what you're doing here. Notice the shift. Now you're trying to shift to the deity of Christ when that's not the subject. Let me, for the sake of this imaginary world, let's say Jesus is not God for the sake of this conversation.
Smart move.
Prove he's a Muslim.
Because he submitted himself to one God as a
Who?
prophet,
Which God?
the creator of the universe.
Who did he say that was?
I believe the term he used was it Adonai?
No, he didn't use that.
What's the term that he used in the Bible?
He used Abba.
No, not
You know-
always.
Did he use Abba?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one God. How do you say it?
Well, hold on a second. Did he use the term Abba?
Yes, and we
What
already.
does Abba mean?
It means father.
Is that a good Muslim?
Like I said, are you serious? Are we circling back
Stop
to this?
stalling.
You're really good at this, huh?
I am.
Yeah. So check this out. Let me explain it to you. He was an Israelite, speaking to Israelites, and Jews today use the term father to not.
Are they Muslim?
No, they're Jews. And
Thank-
That's why that clip went viral right there.
Guys, do you catch this? Oh my goodness, guys.
His whole point just goes out the window.
That was it. I mean, there are multiple points. Avery could have just said, okay, that's debate's over, right? Right there, right? So why do you say Jesus is a Muslim? He submitted to one God, the Creator. Okay, what did he call him? Father. All right, so is that a Muslim thing to do? And he says, yeah, because he's talking to Israelites. Okay, what do Jews call him? Do Jews use that even to this day? Yeah, they call him Father. Are they Muslim? No, they're Jews. Wait, so they're submitting to one God and calling him Father, and that means they're not Muslims. But he just said that's what makes Jesus a Muslim. Why is Jesus a Muslim? Because he submits to one God, but he calls him Father, right? Yes, and that's fine. It's fine, Jesus calling God Father, because that's what it means in that context. Okay, so calling God Father and submitting to one God makes you a Muslim, right? Do these Jews worship one God and call him Father? Yes. Are they Muslims? No. This guy has given one thing that makes you a Muslim, and he just said Jews who do it are not Muslims.
That's it. I rest my case.
It's done. Let's back this up a few seconds here. That was classic.
I believe the term he used was it Adonai?
No, he didn't use that.
What's the term that he used in the Bible?
He used Abba.
No, not
You know,
always.
did he use Abba?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one God. How do you say it?
Well, hold on a second. Did he use the term Abba?
Yes, and
What does Abba mean?
It means father.
Is that a good Muslim?
Like I said, are you serious? Are we circling back
Stop
to this?
stalling.
You're really good at this, huh?
I am.
Yeah. So check this out. Let me explain it to you. He was an Israelite, speaking to Israelites, and Jews today use the term father to not.
Are they Muslim?
No, they're Jews, and they're speaking in a
It's over.
context.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, huh?
Yes.
Do you believe that your
he
God
did
is a
it.
rock?
He did it. He said debate's over. I was saying he could have said it right there, and he did say it. That's funny.
Yes.
He is a rock.
I did-
You
yeah.
worship a rock.
Right, he says, no, they're Jews. They need to play that music, like the hello from, like, you know, there's like this music that they play when someone's like they do a cell phone, TikTok kind of thing. It's like TikTok styles.
Or just like the old bing, 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 with the sunglasses coming down. You know what I mean? The thug life.
Yeah.
Back that up one more time, guys.
Well, hold on a second. Did he use the term Abba?
Yes, and
What does Abba mean?
It means father.
Is that a good Muslim?
Like I said, are you serious? Are we circling back
Stop
to this?
stalling.
You're really good at this, huh?
I am.
Yeah. So
Avery caught him. He's stalling, right? He's trying to think of an answer. He's trying to think, I hadn't thought of this. And so I'll start talking to this guy while I think of an answer. He says, stop stalling.
check this out. Let me explain it to you. He was an Israelite, speaking to Israelites, and Jews today use the term father to not.
Are they Muslim?
No, they're Jews, and they're speaking in a
It's over.
context.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, huh? Do you believe that your God is a
It's a
rock?
wrap.
Is he a rock?
Yes.
He is a rock.
Yes.
You worship a rock. There you go.
Yes.
Look at how childish
The rock
this
of my
is.
foundation, man.
You guys are really. This is like, why do you tolerate this?
Why you
I don't know.
Why do you tolerate him destroying me
tolerate
like
me getting-
this? He even looked to IP and Christina like they're going to rescue him. I guarantee they were giggling themselves silly right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
How do you tolerate this? Is your God a rock?
Yes, I already say yes.
Then that makes sense. You worship the creation, not the creator.
That's what Moses
Makes
said.
perfect sense.
He's the rock of Israel.
A'udhu billah.
Okay, so let me
Allah
ask you
protect
this.
us.
Let me ask
So
you this.
you want to avoid
What-
Luke 2:52 or not?
Look, let's do it for Luke 2:52.
Sure.
How does Luke 2:52 prove that he is a Muslim, my brother?
Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, do you understand?
I see what you're doing.
Okay,
You're
let
trying
me
to
ask you
stick to
this.
the
Maybe this will
topic. Shame
clarify
on
for you. You can clarify for yourself.
Okay.
Was Moses a Christian?
You can say, yeah, he was a follower of the Messiah.
Answer.
Yeah.
See how childish that is?
just
He said,
did.
yeah.
He did.
He said he was a Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a
Yeah,
Christian.
Technically, terminology, yeah.
So isn't that completely anachronistic?
No,
That's not anachronistic.
no, because he was a follower of the Messiah. Christ
Right.
was the one. In
So the
wilderness.
religion of Christianity has no meaning.
Can I answer you?
Oh, good
No,
stuff.
the religion of Christianity
pivot.
is to be a follower of Christ, the follower and believer of the Messiah. Moses believed and followed the Messiah, especially in the wilderness. Matter of fact, Jude 1:4-5 says that it was Jesus who saved the people out of the land of Egypt. That's Jude 1 verse 5. So according to the scripture, it was Jesus leading Moses and the Egyptians out of the land of Egypt and into the wilderness and into the promised land. Moses was a follower of Christ and therefore a Christian by terminology.
So was he a Jew?
Absolutely.
So he was a Jew and a
ethically, ethically.
So he was a Jew and a
ethnically.
Christian?
Absolutely.
Did he ever use the words Jew or Christian?
Not to my knowledge.
Great. So he's not a Jew, not a Christian,
Not my
but a Jew
argument.
and a Christian.
Wait, why are you saying he's not a Jew or not?
Because he never claimed to be.
Why does that mean that he's not a Jew or a Christian?
He never taught a religion called Judaism.
But how does that make him not a Jew?
How does Jesus not saying that I'm a Muslim make him not a Muslim?
Was that Avery's argument at any point? Did he say at any point, hey, my argument that Jesus wasn't a Muslim is he didn't call himself a Muslim? We would generally grant you don't have to use the term. It's a different language, right? It's a different language. You don't have to use the term Muslim.
Yeah.
This guy got to lay out his standard of what makes someone a Muslim, and it blew up in his face. And he even had to take his own definition of what makes someone a Muslim. And Avery eventually shows, hey, the Jews are doing the exact same thing. Are they Muslims? No, they're Jews. This guy's just, at this point, is just sad.
So if he had so Avery's been giving arguments like Jesus calling God Father for why Jesus cannot be a Muslim, right? That's what Avery's been doing this entire time. So if Nasser could give an argument for why Moses, so Avery laid out a definition, okay? This is, so the Messiah, which clearly appeared to Moses knew that this is God, like, the angel of the Lord, and he followed, he knew him, he believed in him, and he also prophesied of the Messiah as well as coming, incarnation and things like that, all throughout the Torah. And so this is like the Messiah that he experienced and that he prophesied of, and then we experience him and we read back. So it's like the prophecies are looking forward, we're looking back, and we also have this experience with the Messiah as well. So these are the reasons why you can say, yeah, Moses was a Christian, Abraham was a Christian, etc. But he needs to give something like Avery's giving to show, no, they can't be Christians because of something that they taught or something that they believe. Oh, can a Christian do this? Or can a Christian say this? Can a good Christian say this? Kind of like what he's doing. Can a good Muslim say this? He's just taking it as like a bad argument from silence or something like that. Oh, he never said it, so therefore it doesn't mean he's not it.
My argument. Brian, you've been listening. Have I ever brought up the argument, Jesus never said he was a Muslim, so therefore he's not a Muslim? Is that what I said?
What's it called?
I never brought that
I
argument.
believe you guys call it the fallacy of equivocation,
Just really
right?
quick, just really quick.
I
Try
believe
your
you guys
best
call it.
not to straw man me.
Sure.
Because
Wait,
I
doesn't
would
this guy
agree
have,
with
like,
you
a
that that's a
degree in
weak argument.
philosophy or
For
something
Jesus
like
not
that?
to say,
That's what I was wondering. He has I think, a master's degree in the history and philosophy of religion.
He's like,
And
you
he's,
guys
and he's
call
like, what you Christians call, is this an equivocation? This Christian term, dude, that's like, that wouldn't be day one of logic, but that would be pretty early on in logic. Equivocation. That's not good. All right, let's see.
Muslim, so that means he's not. No, that's a weak argument. I would never use that. Deal with the arguments
back
that I'm
that
using.
up a little bit.
Absolutely.
So he was a Jew and a
ethically,
Christian.
ethically.
So he was a Jew and a
ethnically.
Christian.
Absolutely.
Did he ever use the words Jew or Christian?
Not to my knowledge.
Great. So he's not a Jew, not a Christian,
Not my
but a Jew
argument.
and a Christian.
Wait, why are you saying he's not a Jew or not?
Because he never claimed to be.
Why does that mean that he's not a Jew or a Christian?
He never taught a religion called Judaism.
But how does that make him not a Jew?
How does Jesus not saying that I'm a Muslim make him not a Muslim?
That's not my argument. Brian, you've been listening. Have I ever brought up the argument, Jesus never said he was a Muslim, so therefore he's not a Muslim? Is that what I said?
What's it called?
I never brought that
I
argument.
believe you guys call it the fallacy of equivocation,
Just really
right?
quick, just really quick. Try your best not to straw man me.
Sure.
Because I would agree with you that that's a weak argument. For Jesus not to say I'm a Muslim, so that means he's not. No, that's a weak argument. I would never use that. Deal with the arguments that I'm using. Matter of fact, Luke 2:52, like you keep holding on to. Let's deal with that.
Yeah.
Luke 2:52, Jesus grew in wisdom and stature before men and God.
Yeah.
How does that prove he's a Muslim?
Because he's not God and he's a man. And he's a
Wait, now if you're not God and you're a man, that
So-
means you're a Muslim.
every-
So wait,
Everyone is a
we're-
Muslim.
Yeah, so we're all Muslims because we're all men, and you just said the Jews weren't Muslims, man. You just said the Jews weren't Muslims.
This is
This
ridiculous.
this is bad, guys.
prophet.
I'm
He
not-
called himself a prophet. He asserted that he's a prophet. He taught the oneness of God. He taught exactly what every prophet teaches, and he doesn't affirm Christianity because he's growing in wisdom, and God doesn't grow in wisdom. He's all wise.
I got you. So any man who claims to be a prophet and claims to be a follower of God is a Muslim?
See, this is exactly my point. This is exactly my
It's
point.
my point too. Look, I'm going with you, bro. I'm going with you on your reasoning.
Yes.
And so I'm taking your reasoning to its conclusion.
When you ask the question, is he a Muslim? Are you saying the follower of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, making Hajj and all the specific details? No. Please let me finish.
Oh.
Am I talking about that in particular? No. But we understand in Islam that there's different types of Sharia. There's different types of laws. And it's fine if there's details that are different. But if Jesus taught that God is one, to be good, to be charitable, to be kind, to work for Judgment Day, right? This is exactly the foundations of Islam.
This is
No.
terrible. This is terrible, guys. Yeah.
man.
So now he's interpreting it as, okay, well, if you're saying Jesus didn't go on the Hajj and stuff like that, therefore he's not a Muslim. No, we would understand there could be different rules. That's not the point, dude. He's over and over again calling himself the Son. People understood. His followers bowed down and worshiped him. His opponents said this guy has to die. They understood what he was saying. If everyone, friend and foe, was completely misunderstanding him, would have been a good idea for him to clarify, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the issue. I mean, notice what you have here. Again, if Jesus is the Son, is the divine Son, then he's not a Muslim. He can't be a Muslim. If he's a mere human being who was claiming to be the divine Son, he would not be a Muslim. If he's a prophet who's calling himself the Son, causing people to either reject him and call for his death, or causing people to worship him and he doesn't correct them, he's not a Muslim. No matter how you look, no matter what possibility you go with, he's not a Muslim. This is just terrible, man.
This is the foundations of monotheism, not
I just wanna say as
Trinitarianism.
well about this point about growing in wisdom, as if like this proves that someone's
That's
a
called the
Muslim because they-
incarnation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
read John 1, but more relevant to that is Philippians 2. Philippians 2, buddy. It's we would be confused if you said he didn't grow in wisdom, you'd say it was like a kind of show. He didn't become an actual human being, right? Philippians 2
yeah.
talks about him emptying himself, right? And taking on human nature.
Yeah, there's that view, or you could say like it's like from our perspective, like it's like he's growing in wisdom, so you see like it's being revealed. This wisdom is being revealed. There's so many different ways, but that isn't. Let's just say okay, how he's interpreting it. How does that necessitate that he's a Muslim? It doesn't. It's like this is just ridiculous. I thought Muslim was submitting. Now it's growing in wisdom. This is what being a Muslim means now.
If you grow in wisdom, you're a Muslim. I mean, a puppy grows in wisdom, so puppies are, I don't know. It's weird.
This is the foundation of what Moses taught, and I'm fine with the fact that there are small differences in terms of Sharia. So when you want to jump on, say, what about every detail of Islam? I would say, well, if you're talking about the religion and all
one
of its
point
details,
about this, actually,
Dude, hang on,
because,
just one
yeah.
second. Like it was 30 seconds ago. Avery said, "Can you just not strawman me?" And what did he just respond? He goes, "If you're saying Jesus has to follow every element of Islamic Sharia, or otherwise he's not a Muslim, that's not a good argument." That's a straw man. He
not what
never
he's
said
been
one
saying.
word about that. Not one word. This is bad, guys. What do you say?
Yeah. Well, this point, this point about what was he just saying? He just said what was it again? Oh yeah, the teaching aren't all compatible because they can have different laws and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's not true because Jesus said, for example, he told us that actually there's no marriage in heaven. Like, the Sadducees were trying to, like, they didn't believe in the resurrection, so they were like, well, whose wife would she be in the afterlife? She married this brother that go through the seven brothers. Like, whose wife would she be in the resurrection? And he says that you're not going to be married or given in marriage. You're going to be like the angels. So that's not just like, oh, there's this law that, like, he taught this particular law, and then Muhammad came and he taught something. No, this is talking about the afterlife. Muhammad taught that in the afterlife, you're going to have brides and you're going to have male boy servants and things like that. And then Jesus taught that you're not going to be married or given in marriage. This is not just like different law. This is talking about what's happened. This is the scriptures of the afterlife. So how Jesus described the afterlife is different than how Muhammad described the afterlife. Jesus also talked about your relationship with God. Obviously, we talk about Father. He's God's Father. He's the Son of God. They share the same nature. But he also taught that when you become followers of Jesus, you become adopted children of God. And then you, as a believer, you as a Christian, now you, not by nature like Jesus, but you can become a son or a daughter of God. So this is something else that differs. Muhammad didn't teach that. And you can't just say that's like just a difference in law. We're not talking about like, divorce or remarriage. We're talking about relational status before God, how the afterlife is going to be. These are things that are not compatible with Islam. Oh yeah, and Jesus actually did make a difference between a servant and a son, and he said that a servant does not last in the household forever, but a son does, a child does. So this is, again, it's not just like a law like, oh, can you divorce here, or maybe you can divorce in this context. That's different laws. Okay. Even if we want to grant that, that's still not telling us your status before God, your relationship with God, and what the afterlife is going to be like, what your relationship is with God is like.
Everyone who's watching, I mentioned this yesterday. This is a very well-educated Muslim who can't claim ignorance of what Christians are going to bring up because he's been making videos responding to us for years now. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a joke. The case is, anyone. But no, I said it before. The Dawa script does not get better as you go up to more scholarly people. It's the same thing. Everyone, please be taking notes. Just listen to everything they can possibly say in defense of their claim that Jesus was a Muslim. It all falls apart. Every Dawa booth you go to, they have a big sign, Jesus was Muslim. How are Christians not out there going on offense, learning how to? I mean, you just have to watch it. You just have to watch a couple of videos, a couple of debates, take notes, learn the passages, learn the responses, and head to the Dawa booth and crush them until they stop saying it, until they are ashamed and terrified of putting up a sign that says Jesus is a Muslim, because they know Christians are going to be coming for it. Christians, you do not need to be worried. You do not need to be worried. The case does not get better.
No.
This sucks. His case sucks, and it doesn't get any better than this. Find any Muslim in the world who can lay out a better case. If you're sitting here going, "Wow, this sucks," right? Find a Muslim who can present a better case for Jesus being a Muslim. They can't. It's always the same. Hey, someone who submitted to one God, and then you start going through what he actually said does not line up with Islam at all.
Right. Tells them no. But if you're talking about the theology and how there is a progression, which you understand because you just said Moses was a Christian, which is completely anachronistic, right? But you could just say whatever because he's a Jew and he's a Christian simultaneously, and he's neither because he never used either of those terms. So what will we call it? What will we call it to submit yourself to one God? Well, we would call it Islam. I know you have a problem with that.
He's attributing something to he's like wanting. Avery didn't say anything about progressive.
Yeah. And then he just claimed it. He said he wasn't because he didn't use those terms.
Yeah.
Okay. Avery could then use that point and say, "Oh, if using the term means you're not the thing, then okay, then Jesus wasn't a Muslim based on that." He's the one. He attacked Avery for saying it. Avery never said it. Avery said, "I would regard that as a weak argument," and then this guy uses the weak argument.
Yeah, I mean, this guy needs to read the Bible. Like, look at how Paul introduces himself. He says that I am a Jew from Tarsus. Like, I'm a Jew, but he's also a Christian. Okay, so there's nothing contradictory. There's nothing incompatible about claiming that you're a Jew, ethnically a Jew, and you're a Christian. Well, what does a Christian mean? It means you're a follower, a believer in the Messiah. how is that not Jewish? That's extremely Jewish. That's why the debate in the early church was not, today you might think like he's thinking, can you be a Jew and can you be a Christian at the same time? The debate in the early church was, can you remain like a Gentile and follow Jesus? It was like, this is what Acts 15 is about, this council. It's like the Council of Jerusalem. The question was, can these Gentiles, how do they express their faith in the Jewish Messiah? Do they need to adopt Jewish practices and customs and things like that? How do they do it? So it was like the opposite of what this guy's presenting it as. Like, how do you be a Jew and a Christian at the same time? They were thinking, how can you be a Gentile and a Christian at the same time? Obviously, the Holy Spirit revealed to them, the apostles, they settled the matter by God revealing to them with what is appropriate for Jewish believers and Gentile believers. But this, again, he's presenting this as if like this is a problem or something like that. Like, how you Jew and a Christian? What is this, a Jew and a Christian? This is a contradiction. No, it's not. And then he's laying out, as if Avery says, don't straw him. I mean, he's laying it out like Avery believes in this progression kind of thing. Like he wanted him to say that Moses is not a Christian, but it's okay because God continued, he revealed himself like later on. So now we call Christians. Back then they weren't called Christians, but that's not what Avery said. But he's still saying it as if that's what Avery said, because he's saying you're like, you believe in this progressive kind of theology or something. But Avery never said that. He never said progressive theology at all. So he has like a script in his head. It's built in, just like all the other Dawa guys. Doesn't matter if you have a PhD or not. These Dawa guys all function the same way. And if you go off script at all, then you can melt down and crash out like this guy. So you have to get yourself back onto the script, because that's all you know how to do is repeat these words.
Yeah, so Jesus wasn't a Muslim because he didn't use the word Muslim. Jesus wasn't a Muslim because he didn't go on the Hajj. He kept bringing these up. Avery never said one word about these things. What's that mean? It means that's what he walked in there prepared to respond to. And when he's just getting completely cooked on the points he brings up, then he, as Jolly's pointing out, he falls back on the Dawa script and the script that he prepared for.
Yep.
But that's actually what it's called. It's called submitting yourself to one God, obeying him, being somebody who speaks the truth, gives charity, prays to God, works so that you can be a good person, favorable by God, and expecting Judgment Day.
I got you. So
why is this complicated?
So watch this. I'll show you why it's complicated.
Sure, go for it.
The double talking. If I say, hey, if a man claims to be a prophet, claims to preach one God, claims to believe in prophets, claims to give charity, and claims to be preaching the truth, but the one God and creator of all things that they're appealing to is their statue in their backyard, is that person a Muslim?
Oh my goodness, you're still going back to this?
Yes.
You're still going back to this?
Yes or no?
You just laid out a definition for what it... This is so bad. He keeps doing this. He keeps doing this.
Growing in wisdom.
He over and over again, he says, this is what makes you a Muslim. And Avery says, okay, if that's the definition, then would this be a Muslim? And he goes, no, this is stupid. No, of course that person wouldn't be a Muslim. Okay, so it's more than that, right? This is just bad.
If you are appealing to
this guy, he wasn't happy with how this debate went. Apparently, he had to catch a flight or something like that. But he kept asking if he could jump in the other debates, because there was like, I don't remember the order or the chronology of when Avery or IP was explaining the order of events. But when this debate happened, they had other debates scheduled with like the Muslims, and he kept wanting to be like a part of those, but they didn't have like enough. You need to have like equal amount of Christians and Muslims, so he wasn't able to do it. But he obviously wasn't satisfied with how he performed here. He's like, I got to go back. I got to redeem myself. I got to avenge myself in some way. It never happened. So. Yeah, man, you tried, you've been making all these videos probably for years trying to respond to Avery. You finally got his attention, and you finally got the chance to debate him.
You only get one shot, man.
You fumbled. One shot, one opportunity, and look what happened. Look what you did.
Look what happened to you. Look what you did, man. Look what you did. You could have stuck over on your channel. You could have stuck over on your channel, and we wouldn't have had any clue who you were. You could have just stayed over there running your mouth. But your head got too big. You looked up and said, I can become more famous if I take out Avery. I'll take him out, man. The Dawa Buster. I'll take out the Dawa Buster. Look what happened to you. You got cooked. Now who's going to listen to you? You lost. You had a shot, man. You lost, man.
At you like a rock, then I would say that is blasphemous. But if you are using the term rock to mean not literally, but the thing you depend on, then it's fine.
It says in statute.
Why is he looking off into space?
He's like, I can't look at the host. I can't look at IP and these guys. I'm just gonna look up in the.
But look how enraged he is, and look how calm. Look at Avery here. He's just grinning the entire time.
It's a rock.
A statue.
A statues are made of rock, right?
Sure, gold or it could be gold. It doesn't matter.
Fantastic. So
Statue.
I guess a little bit of clarification is required, isn't
I
it?
said a statue.
A statue is made of rock. Yeah, I definitely reject that God is a rock.
Very
And
good.
wait, you said God is a rock,
Very
right?
good.
If I were his coach right now, I'd say, dude, you need to calm down real quick. Like, you're looking real frustrated right now. You're looking real frustrated. Avery's looking calm. He's smiling. You're looking enraged and frustrated. You got to calm down and put a grin on your face, man. Put a grin on your face.
So
He needs a smile. He needs a smile to Jenna next to him, like
Yeah, to
calm
be
him down a
tapping
little
on
bit, like-
tapping on his leg. Don't taste it. Don't taste it like Smiles to Jenna. No, that wasn't Smiles to Jenna. That was man. No, that was Subhor.
Sorry, yeah,
that was Subhor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the last clip I did was of Smiles to Jenna, but you're right, it was a different guy.
Yeah. So Smiles to Jenna is the one who grapes Ali Dawa in the mouth.
Yeah.
Ali Dawa holds his head back and smiles to Jenna, feeds him grapes him in the mouth. It's Subhor. It's Subhor who touches Muhammad Hijab's leg while he's live and then tastes his leg. So now we're clear. Now we're clear on the Dawa guys.
Yeah.
You want to clarify?
No,
Everybody starts laughing.
that's-
Unbelievable.
It's okay.
Oh, they were laughing.
So listen, if you're talking about, so you just said that no.
He reminds me of what's that guy's name? Chunk Yogurt. That's what he reminds me of. Like he has that same temperament and the same.
Yeah.
So they were probably like smiling and laughing and sitting down. He's like, everyone's against me. They're all laughing at me. What's going on here?
Okay, so we know this dude cannot keep his cool when he starts losing. Got to work on that, buddy. Got to work on that.
We're gonna see
If
that
a person
again.
claims to
We're
be
gonna see that
This ain't your YouTube channel, man. This here's real. This here's real.
prophet, claims to be preaching the message of God, claims
Wait,
to
let's
believe
go-
in
let's
other
go back.
prophets,
Let's hear that again.
gives charity and does good to
Everybody's
others.
laughing at me. Everybody's laughing at me. Let's see.
It's a rock.
A statue.
A statues are made of rock, right?
Sure, gold or it could be gold. It doesn't matter.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
A statue.
I guess a little bit of clarification is required, isn't
I
it?
said a statue.
A statue is made of rock. Yeah, I definitely reject that God is a rock.
Very
And
good.
wait, you said God is a rock,
Very
right?
good. So-
do you want to clarify?
No,
Everybody starts laughing. Unbelievable.
It's okay, Dr. Nonsense. It's okay. So listen, if you're talking about, so you just said that no, if a person claims to be a prophet, claims to be preaching the message of God, claims to believe in other prophets, gives charity and does good to others, but yet the God that they're talking about is a statue they have in their backyard, whether it's gold or rock, it doesn't matter. A statue, you would say, no, that's blasphemous. This person is not a Muslim.
Correct.
This is why your definition of Islam or Muslim is, it means nothing. It means nothing because anybody can be a Muslim by what you just defined. But you would say, no, this isn't a Muslim because you have a specific idea of who God is. You have a specific
tell me what's my
theology.
idea. Tell me what's my specific idea.
Sure,
Right.
sure. The idea of God in Islam is the God who's not triune. He is a singular person in his essence. He does not beget nor is he begotten. He has no children in any sense. He is unlike his creation.
You keep on ushering in any sense.
No, that's what your Quran says.
We dealt with that in 5:18. We dealt with that very
yeah,
clearly.
you said no. You affirmed it.
No, I didn't. I said that God recognizes that these people claim that we are the children of God metaphorically. They claim that we are the beloved of God. And so God is telling them, don't attribute purity to yourself. But even when Christians say, aren't we all the children of God? Can we all calm down? Aren't we all children of God? Muslims don't freak out and say, no, not in any sense. Because I know what you're saying, man. You're not saying it in the divine sense that there was a man that was actually God. You're saying, guys, let's chill out. We're all blessed be the peacemaker for the children of God. I would say, look, I don't use those terminology, but I totally get your point that it's a righteous man.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with it, as the Jews would.
So you agree that a peacemaker is a child of God? Child
In
of
the
Allah?
Jewish, look at it. You're trying to usher. You're playing
Do you
games every
agree
time.
with that?
I agree that when the Jews speak, yes. Children of God.
you know what
So
it
in
is?
a sense,
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow. Oh, that's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge. Okay.
Children of God. Whoa! Yes, I agree. Children of God. Whoa!
Yeah. Wow.
Surah 19 says the universe is about ready to split apart right now because
Yep.
what he just said.
And Muhammad said that he was ready to worship whoever that is. Whoever that peacemaker is, Muhammad's ready to worship them. It said, if the most merciful had a son, then I'd be the first of his worshipers. Wow. Yeah, that's a clip right there. He was talking about clipping Avery yesterday or something like that, or was it earlier in the stream? I can't remember. But he said, "Oh, well, there's a clip." He said, "That's a clip." And he's the one making it sound like Avery's trying to do these you're posturing and you're this and that. But yet he's the one who introduced. Oh, that's a clip right there. Like you got owned. That's a clip. You got baked. I think I'm starting to understand his psychology a little bit here. So he's like the imam of his mosque. He's like this, like, this PhD in this community of Muslims. He's not used to being talked to like this or challenged in any way, because Muslims, they're just taught to accept whatever the sheikh say. Don't question things. You don't fight back. If you fight back, you argue back, then they shame you. They make you feel like you're dumb or you're stupid, or they make you feel threatened or something like that. He's not used to being in a position where they're equals and they can question each other, challenge each other. No one's like in a higher position of authority here. You guys are you're on the same level. He's not used to that. He's used to being in a position of power and authority over people. And so that's why he's crashing out, I think, extra, because he's not used to being challenged like this.
Yeah, some people just aren't good at people talking back.
Yeah.
Well, dude, if you can't handle people talking back, maybe debate isn't the field for you. Just a thought there. Let's see.
Sense of, because obviously, according to you, we're not talking about divinities, are we? We're talking about beloved people to God. Because obviously there's not a bunch of Jesus running around, right?
Sure.
So you're talking about righteous people. Right.
Sure.
So thank you for clarifying your meaning. And in that meaning, I got no problem, because you were making it very clear.
All right, so just to be clear, you are okay at affirming, as a Muslim can affirm that Allah is their Father.
Whoa.
Yeah, say it yourself. You go say it now. That's what I would
look
say.
at this.
Nasser, you say you're a child of God.
Hey, look at this. Tom Teacher, I don't submit to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I obey him. And yes, I submit to God and God of Jesus. I reject the title, but I accept what he means. You don't submit to Muhammad?
That's not what the Quran says.
You don't submit to Muhammad? Let me read the Quran to you. I can put it on the screen if you want, but I'll just read it for you and hope you get the point. I'm going to read Surah 4, verse 65 to you. All right? Okay, here's Surah 4, verse 65. But know, this is Allah talking to Muhammad, but know, by your Lord, they can have no faith until they make you, O Muhammad, judge in all disputes between them, and find in themselves no resistance against your decisions, and accept them with full submission. Accept them with full submission. And it's actually submit with full submission to everything Muhammad decides. Pickthall translates it as, and submit with full submission. Shakir translates it as, and submit with entire submission. So you have to submit to everything Muhammad decides, or you're not a Muslim. So just wanted to point that out here. Be careful saying you don't submit to Muhammad. My goodness.
And this is when their word games get really dangerous, because you can say now, because it uses the same exact terminology about submitting, that you could say, okay, well, if you're actually doing that thing of submitting, then what does that make you? That makes you a Muslim to Muhammad. It makes you a Muslim to Muhammad. So also someone who like submits aslama, this guy submitted to the police or something like that, means he's a Muslim to, according to their definition, that means he's a Muslim to the police. Like he's surrendered himself. So you as a Muslim, you must be a Muslim to Muhammad. And let's say there's like Muslim in sense number 1 and Muslim in sense number 2. Okay, the way that you guys are saying that all these other people are Muslims in the past before Muhammad, that's a sense that you guys are Muslims to Muhammad. It's actually even worse, because you actually have to adhere to all the things that makes you Muslim in sense number 2. So it's actually so you guys put yourself in a really bad position when you start doing equivocation and you start doing etymological fallacies and everything else that you're doing. And what's the other one? The distributed middle. What's that one called again? The
fallacy of the undistributed middle?
Yeah. Undistributed middle. Yeah, that one too. All these different fallacies that they're doing. It's crazy at the one time.
It's pretty darn bad. Hey, I put this up here. Shirk alert. Don't let me forget, Jai. Don't let me forget. But we'll have the new studio up and running here very soon. I want to get an alarm that like whoop 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 in the background that we'll call the Shirk alert alarm. And when Muslims are telling us something and it's pretty shirky, we'll sound the alarm so they know, hey, better be careful what I'm saying right now. We'll call it the Shirk alert.
in the
It
sense
needs,
that
it needs
they
to have,
are.
it needs to have like a red light too, like everyone can see the red light going
Oh, yeah.
on.
Yeah, no, we'll have it in the background, and then we'll just push the button. We'll have a button ready. Shirk alert. They need the shirk alert because they just commit all kinds of shirk. Can you Oh man, can you imagine watching? Can you imagine watching, like reviewing videos or debates by like the new generation, like Quora and stuff like that? It could be like that thing's gonna be going off the entire time with all the shirk they're
Yeah.
committing. Oh boy, let's see.
Peacemakers, so therefore they are a child of Allah.
You got to be seriously bored of him running these same circles when I've already clarified that the Israelites use that terminology and we respect
So
what they
running
use.
from the question
and we
isn't happening.
no, hold on. We
Running from the
understand.
question
We
isn't
understand
happening.
that terminology. Please chill.
No, don't talk to him. Talk to me. Talk to me. Answer the question. So is that a yes?
It's funny. That's
Why-
a dude
what's he
freak.
doing
That's
with
a dude
his-
freak. That's a dude freaking out, and he's going, "Calm down, calm down."
Is that a yes?
Are you gonna keep yelling?
I'm just asking. Is that a
I need you to
yes?
take a breath.
Is that a
I'm
yes?
posturing like I'm winning. Take it.
Is that a yes? This doesn't work, brother. You're making yourself look.
Yeah, you are
This is
posturing.
bad.
This is
man.
embarrassing.
Oh man, this is so embarrassing.
It is.
This so
Okay.
embarrassing. I love posturing.
Is there
Are you
any
done
other?
posturing?
Is there
Can
any
I
other?
answer? Can I answer?
You
your point?
didn't. You're not answering. You're just.
You
You're
can't,
being
you
weird.
can't stop.
answer,
He
and then
can't stop posturing like
Yeah.
he won. Just chill out for a second. I'm gonna end.
He's not posturing when
This is crazy.
he won, dude. He won a long time ago.
Okay.
I've made it very clear that in the past there was a certain methodology of describing people that everybody understood. I respect those people and their terminology, and when they say it, I'm not going to jump up and scream that we don't use those terms, right? What I will say is that, listen, I get what you're saying, and so I can affirm it in the sense of like, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, Islam is super against idolatry, as you know, and when somebody says God is my rock,
No, it's not.
I'm not going to freak out and say, how dare you? Because I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's right.
You point out the irony of this.
Yeah, and if you say such and such is a rock, then we will want to bow down and kiss it and climb over each other to smooch it because that's what we do with rocks.
That's the irony of this whole thing. He keeps talking about like he's like insinuating that we worship like a physical rock when this guy, he probably, if he hasn't done it already, he's probably dreaming of kissing and smooching and licking this black stone. He's like, oh,
look at
only
this.
we can worship rocks.
Look at this. This dude's just talking to the moderator now. So Avery's over here checking his email.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He's checking his tweets and he's like,
Yeah,
let me-
checking tweets. Or he's tweeting, "I am cooking this guy right now."
God is definitely not a rock.
Yeah.
That's it. This has been an hour of him capitalizing off of that confusion.
Yeah.
It's super redundant. Go ahead.
I want to talk about what you brought up. You brought up Mark 12:29. Do you think that this is a verse that proves he's a Muslim?
Mark what?
Mark
yeah.
12:29, where he says, "The hero Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one."
I believe that this is Jesus. This is a verse. Again, let me be very clear so that we don't put me in some
And right after
weird
that,
position
he says
here.
what
I'm
you
very
mentioned
clear about
before.
Did you hear
Yeah,
that? He said he just said it.
He's scared. He knows that there's like a trap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We were saying this yesterday. He didn't want to affirm stuff. He didn't want to say I agree or yes or something like that because he knows. Look at Avery smiling. He knows Avery is about to use it, but
Yeah.
he just said it there. He just said what we all knew. We all could tell he was doing. He's
Yep.
terrified of saying yes or no because
wanna
he
commit.
knows Avery's about to use something. So he wants to just dance around issues. But look what just happened, guys. He just said it. I know you're about to like trap me or something. So, and Avery's responding to something he brought up. He brought this up. Let's see. Here we go.
But God is definitely not a rock.
Yeah.
That's it. This has been an hour of him capitalizing off of that confusion.
Yeah.
It's super redundant. Go ahead.
I want to talk about what you brought up. You brought up Mark 12:29. Do you think that this is a verse that proves he's a Muslim?
Mark what?
Mark 12:29, where he says, "The hero Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one."
I believe that this is Jesus. This is a verse. Again, let me be very clear so that we don't put me in some weird
We
position
all heard what
here.
you said.
I'm very clear about this.
Okay.
I don't affirm every verse in the Bible and say, I believe 100% this is what he said. But broadly speaking, when you see him, for example, preaching just like a Jewish prophet would, like a prophet of God would, teaching people that God is one, then I'm like, yeah, this is most likely correct.
Where do you get the historical Jesus from?
The historical Jesus is, people try to put it together with like the Gospel of Q, and they try to say, okay, let's try to see
Gospel of Q.
what is the earliest sources. And so they try to see what is corroborated between Matthew and Luke, and they try to say, well, this is as close as we can get to the historical Jesus. It's not 100%, but we do our best.
Got you. So the gospel accounts is where you get the historical Jesus from?
We're trying our best, yeah. We get what we, yeah.
Okay, so if I wanted to learn, like, so for example, how did Jesus pray? Where would I go?
You know what's funny? uh yeah, when people they try to do this with the historical Jesus and what did he say, and they're doing like these, I put it in quotes because like, it's like kind of funny because it's like whatever the critical scholar is trying to prove about Jesus, like it happens to line up with exactly what they believe about Jesus. And it's like, so yeah, we have different scholars saying this is what the historical Jesus believed, and it's like very similar to what they believed, and then this is what the historical Jesus believed is very similar, it just happens to be very similar to what they believe. But they're rejecting like the entirety of the gospel. So that's what's going on there. But what they never do is they never go to the Quran. No one ever goes to the Quran and is like, let's try to reconstruct the historical Jesus from the Quran. Why is that? Why is that? Because nobody takes it seriously. It's not serious. It's not anywhere anywhere in the realm of history that requires someone to even look at it and think it's even in the realm of possibility of trying to discover what Jesus taught. No one ever looks to the Quran for that purpose. Anyone, no one, any scholar, I'm saying, not Muslims. Muslims obviously would, but I'm saying any scholar who's trying to do this kind of reconstruct the historical Jesus kind of thing, they're not going to go to the Quran for that.
Yep, and it's interesting because you can take every quote from Jesus in the Quran. You cannot find that in the first century.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, you would look, if you're a Muslim, you would look how Muslims pray. And you say, well, Jesus was a Muslim, so therefore he must have prayed similar to this.
Where would you get that conclusion?
That's
from?
what I just said that they do.
Yeah.
I just said that they do that. They pick up what they do and what they believe in, and then they try to find that being affirmed. So he just said it. So he's like, okay, so if we find Jesus ever, bowing down in prayer, because that's what we do, well, that's a historical Jesus. But if he ever contradicts that, like he looks up in the sky when he's praying, well, that's not the historical Jesus. There's like no consistency with that at all, but that's exactly what they do. They do that. That's not just him, but
and I have to say, using this reasoning, we'd have to conclude that Alexander the Great was a devout Muslim. Right? It's just, okay, so all of history says that's wrong. Well, if we just go to the Quran and we say, okay, wherever history, whatever detail we can pull out of history that agrees with us, then that's good. Everything else is just completely wrong. Well, you can prove anything using that method. You can prove anything about anyone using that method. Mm-hmm. If, as a rule, if your methodology could just prove anything you want on either side, it's probably a stupid methodology, and it's a pretty good sign that you have a stupid ideology if it's forcing you to argue like that.
Yes.
That's begging the question.
The historical Muhammad, he confirmed the Gospels, he confirmed the Torah. That's the historical Muhammad. Did the historical Muhammad teach that he was the final prophet? No, that wasn't the historical Muhammad. That wasn't the historical Muhammad. The historical Muhammad, he agrees with whatever we want him to say. That's the historical Muhammad. Do we have a standard for that? But then you run that back to them, and they'll acknowledge that that's like inconsistent and stupid.
Uh-huh.
But like we did earlier, like it's
they would suddenly understand what circular and all these other things mean, just not when they're arguing.
I'm saying if you're a Muslim.
But how would you, like, see, I know that, like, if you're Muslim, you'll conclude that, but based on what is what I'm asking? Like,
based on the Quran, if you're Muslim, if you believe in the Quran as an authoritative text, you believe as a Muslim, and then therefore you see how the Quran defines prayer, and then you say, okay, well, this is what he must have done as a prophet.
Why? Where does the Quran say that that's how Jesus prayed? Or
the Quran, you don't have to say for each prophet mentioned, and this is how he prayed. No, you can just describe how Muslims pray, and then you get the conclusion of that's how every prophet prayed.
No,
roughly
you
speaking,
don't,
generally
because
speaking.
you don't do that with anything else.
Yeah.
You don't do that with anything else, because Avery's saying that there's some things in the Quran that are, even he himself said they're incompatible with what Jesus said. But then he went on to say, oh, but that's because there's different laws and there's progressive theology and things like that. So how do you conclude that that's because how many prayers did Moses say? Was it 50 prayers, right? He was supposed to pray 50 prayers a day. Then it got to 5 prayers a day. So it's like that. So the amount of prayers and how you pray and things like that was up for debate. In Muhammad's lifetime, that was up for debate. How many times you pray? Was it 50 times a day or 5 times a day? Well, so if you're getting these kind of rulings, that's right. I can't remember the exact numbers there, but yeah. But the point is, if you're getting these exact, like, this is what it means to be a Muslim because the Quran says so. Well, that's not what you're doing. Again, they're changing the definition of Muslim once again. They're using the Quran to define Muslim, not just submitting. It's like so annoying. They're not consistent at all. They just keep changing and going. They keep shifting between Muslim and definition number 1 and Muslim and definition number 2, and they keep conflating them and as if they're saying the same thing when they're not.
Well,
Very
yeah,
annoying.
and he's heard that Christians use this term equivocation.
Yeah, it's a Christian thing. You guys call it this. It's a,
I'm not
that
talking
would-
about like exactly the position of
Right.
you have to record like this and like this,
Right,
but
you-
generally bowing
would-
to God,
you
prostrate to
wouldn't,
God.
so you wouldn't know. You would just assume that.
I would say that as a Muslim, if I know how Muslims pray and prophets of the past were prophets, then clearly they were in line with Islam.
How do you know that how they prayed though was exactly how you pray today?
Because they were Muslim, and therefore, I'm not saying exactly, so you're jumping on the word exactly. Let's drop that word. I believe they prayed to one God and weren't gods. Is that clear?
Though? How, if you wanted to know how they prayed, how they practiced, the prayers, practicing your religion, it's extremely important in Islam.
Allah in the Quran describes ruku' and sujood, bowing, prostrating, things like this.
Yeah, but how do you know that that's how Jesus prayed?
Because he's described as a prophet.
So what?
So he's a Muslim.
That doesn't mean that all the prophets prayed the same way in your Sharia.
Generally speaking, this is how they worshipped.
So that's an assumption. How would you ground it in fact? How, if you wanted to get the historical method on how Jesus practiced his religion?
I do
like
not believe
prayer,
we have access to a man 2,000 years ago, nor what's it called? I don't believe we have access to. We can see exactly what Moses was doing or what Abraham was doing. We have faith.
Jesus specifically.
What I'm saying is we have faith. We have faith in these books. Now you can have faith in the Quran, which you don't. You can have faith in the Bible, to which my conclusion is there are lots of parallels that if you accept Islam, so much of the Quran, so much of the Bible will make sense to you because of the parallels with.
Especially all the stuff about Jesus dying on the cross for sins and about Jesus being the Son of God. This all lines up perfectly with Islam. It doesn't line up at all, dude. And the only things you can point to that line up is just because Muhammad was stealing tons of stuff from Jews and Christians.
yeah. We have a Muslim in the chat. He's saying, I think he's in response to what I was saying, that the Quran's not a history book. So you don't look to it to find
sure
like, the
isn't.
historical Jesus. Like, yeah, exactly. No, it's not. It's divine revelation from God. It's the most updated version and final one. Well, this updated and final version constantly is directing you to the Torah and to the Injil and telling you to look at that that's confirming that, and that this will in turn confirm what this says. So this is not there's the comment
Quran
there,
is not a history book. It's a divine revelation from God that completely contradicts history. That's what Allah does. He knows how to contradict history. He is the best of history contradictors. It's the most updated version and final one. Powerful.
He prayed.
So is that where I would get the historicity of how Jesus practiced his religion in the Bible?
You will get the closest account you can get to
Got
the
it.
actual historical.
Also,
Yes.
So it's not the Quran that gives us the historical Jesus. It's the Bible that gives us the historical Jesus. So then when I look in the Bible and I see what Jesus taught, let's say how he prayed, for example, and he prayed, one of the ways he prayed was falling down on his ground, saying, Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me, but not my will, that your
My
will be
Father.
done. Yeah. Or looking up, just standing up, lifting up his eyes to heaven, saying, Father, glorify me, your son, with the glorify your son so that your son may glorify you. I'm seeing how Jesus prayed. You're affirming that this is the closest we can get to the historical account of how Jesus prayed.
Yes, and because of what you just said, if I'm going to conclude, was this a god or was this a prophet? I'm definitely going to fall on the
that's
side. Now,
that.
I knew you were going to interrupt. That's great.
I didn't add. That's not the topic.
That is the topic. Is he a Muslim or is he a Christian?
You didn't say that. You said
Is he a Muslim or is he a Christian? No, it's not. The topic is, was Jesus a Muslim? That's it. He could be anything else if he is anything else but a Muslim. If he is God, if he is a false teacher, a false prophet, no matter what he is, a Buddhist, a Hindu, if he is anything other than a Muslim, you lost the debate, dude, because you have the burden of proof on the topic, was Jesus a Muslim?
is he a God or is he just a prophet?
How far are we into the debate right now? The whole time, probably like an hour in or something. The whole time, this guy's thinking the debate is about is he a Muslim or is he a Christian? He doesn't know
Muslim
the
or
topic
Christian?
the entire
Is he
time.
Muslim or Christian?
If we believe in, are you really? If we believe in Christianity, then he's God, praying to God.
We're not talking
That's a
about
problem.
his deity. We're talking about his religion.
Right, I know. You want to focus on
topic.
my hand in prayer. You want to focus on the position, the movement, or the idea that he's actually praying to God, saying not my will, but your will, versus the idea of them having one will? So yeah, go ahead. You want to say, look, when you guys pray, you look down. When Jesus prayed, he looked up. You're going to make a big thing about that.
No, I'm
despite
not.
the fact that there's two wills going on?
No, what I'm
Clearly-
making, what I'm
It seemed like he was pointing out to the Father part and what Jesus is saying about the Father and about himself in these prayers.
In the safer position.
What I'm making a big deal of is who he prayed to. You would agree that it matters who, and I need this quick. I don't need a diatribe. You would agree, yes or no, that it matters who you pray to, correct?
The same one the Jews prayed to.
Okay.
Good?
So it matters who you pray to.
Yeah, the Jewish God.
So can a Muslim lift their eyes to heaven and say, Father, glorify your Son
Wow.
so that your Son may glorify you? Can a Muslim say that?
Okay, sure, I'll answer. I'll answer for the 50th time. Because of the fact that the Jews use that terminology.
He's talking about
No.
Oh, dude,
No.
He's missing.
No. Father, glorify the Son, that the Son may glorify you. You think Jews prayed like this, dude?
Yeah.
You
He
can
only
say,
heard
yes,
one
they
word.
use the term Father. Jews did not pray like that. Jews didn't pray those words. Matter of fact, if you want to say Jews prayed like that, show us Jews praying like that, dude.
There's so much going on there. There's so much going on there. Like Avery is showing, like, this is not how Muslims pray. Like in terms of like their physical composure when they're praying. Like he's looking up. He's standing, looking up. You know, that's a presumption. He's not bowing down in prostrations in this passage, John 17. So that's one thing. So that's one of the things going on here. Another thing is he's addressing God as Father, and then another he's addressing himself as the Son. And then glorifying and having glory and authority as well. He didn't mention that, but that's also what's going on there as well. So there's a lot going on in this passage that disrupts or disputes everything that this guy's saying about Jesus being a Muslim.
You guys messed it up. We don't use that description anymore.
That's not what I asked.
You said
You said you were
You
going to
said,
answer.
no, you just said, does a Muslim do that today? No, we don't.
That's not what I asked. I'll say it again. Can
listening.
a Muslim
Muslim today?
at any point in time,
At the time of Jesus,
lift their eyes up to heaven and say, Father, glorify your Son so that your Son may glorify you?
At the time of the Jews, talking about Father and Son and praying to God is fine. Yes.
Dude, he's talking about the glory part. Oh my goodness. How is this guy not getting
Yeah,
this?
the
Like,
glorify your Son.
Yeah.
He says that's fine, dude. Courtney
Yeah.
says you're not a Muslim, man. You're an unbeliever for what you're saying right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Having authority over all flesh. Do Jews say that like, oh, like, glorify your Son, that your Son might also glorify you, as you have given him authority over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as you have given him.
Yes, of course
And-
you could say that then, but people got confused about it afterwards because they took your words seriously, and
Oh boy.
Awesome. All right, I rest my case.
Okay.
he said I rest my case.
At the time of the
respect it.
Jews.
You got
Jews.
it. Hey, you got it, brother.
You think you won that?
I don't think I won anything, man. I don't think I won.
Jewish theology. You're tracking this?
You're saying that that's Muslim theology.
I'm saying Jewish theology that calls themselves Son and God Father.
You
yes.
said that you're saying that matches with Muslim theology.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I would say that yes, that figurative language
Matches
because
Islamic theology.
because they know that, because they know exactly what they're saying, because they know exactly their culture, it matches with the concept that God is one and not actually making babies.
And a father and has children. Got it.
Yeah, children, plural?
Yeah.
Perfect. As long as he pluralizes it to ensure that we're not talking about a divine being. You're absolutely right. Jesus is not divine. Thank you for affirming that.
Just really quick.
You heard him say that, right?
Can
He
I-
said, as long as you're praying, and he has children, plural, not the one, not the only son. So he just said, as long as you're praying to a
Yes, God has many sons and many daughters in a variety of senses. That does not negate someone being the son in a unique sense. Nice try.
Yeah.
Though. Look at this guy. He is really frustrated.
God that has children. You guys don't believe that. That, my friend, is a slip up.
What?
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Can
What?
a Muslim tell Allah to glorify them
Who
so
doesn't
that they all
believe that?
glorify Allah?
Again, I don't affirm the wording of every word. Now, is it possible that God is saying that give me a high status?
No, not high status.
Yes.
Can a Muslim?
What's the word for
at
glory?
any point in time?
What's the word for glory
can
in Greek? Is it
hold
doxa?
on a second. Can any Muslim at any point in time tell Allah to glorify them so that they may glorify Allah in return?
I just want to know what the word means.
Can you answer that question?
I'm answering you. If we're talking about the word doxa, which is the Greek term, is it a problem? You seem upset that I'm actually quoting the Bible.
I want an answer to my question.
I'm
and then you
answering
can Go ahead and do your thing.
If you mean that I want to be somebody who is glorified in the sense of worship, no. Glorified in the sense of being a noble prophet, then of course there's nothing wrong with that, because we know that obviously the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ahmed, the most praised one, and also even Ibrahim alayhi salam, I don't have the verse off the top of my head, but he says, let me be remembered fil akhirin, let my name be remembered in later times. So this is talking about being somebody who is known through history, not for any sort of pagan or idolatrous ideas of being a god or hypostasis or anything like this, but rather being a prophet that is remembered, setting a good example so he can get that.
Okay, and then last one.
Sadaqah al-jariyah.
Can you affirm, because the next verse, the next line says, you have given him authority over all flesh to give eternal life to all you have given him. Can a Muslim claim at any point in time that Allah has given them authority over all mankind, over all flesh, over all creation, to give eternal life to them?
Perfect.
Perfect. Going with perfect.
This guy, are they all the same? These guys,
He went to the Quora school of debate. Perfect.
man, that's
Guys, you see what's going on
embarrassing.
here? So he's saying, he says what he believes about Jesus, right? He says, I believe Jesus prayed like a Muslim. I believe that because of the Quran. And Avery's saying, yeah, but where would you get the historical Jesus from to see if he actually lined up with what you believe? And he says, yeah, you'd have to go to the Bible. And so Avery's quoting the Bible on how Jesus prayed and saying, is this how a Muslim would pray? Let's see.
Thank you. Now, can I answer?
Please, it's a simple yes or no and expound if you can.
Thank you, I will. So, no, I do not believe that God is going to give all authority to a man.
That's not what I asked.
Didn't you just ask that?
I didn't ask if you believe that God is going to do this.
Or he
I
did.
Asked,
Could a
let
Muslim
me
pray
be
that?
clear with my question again. Can a Muslim, at any point in the time of creation, of history, claim that Allah gave them all authority over all flesh to give them eternal life?
No.
Thank you.
Now can I answer?
So Jesus is not a Muslim.
Wow. Okay.
Now can I answer?
You just did.
So once again, the Jesus of the Bible, the Jesus of the gospel, is not a Muslim. And so what
Thank
this
you.
guy would have to do is be circular, assume that Islam is true, and then go back and take everything out of the Bible that doesn't line up, when he already acknowledged that's where you would go to find out about the historical Jesus. So you just have to, when he talked about having faith, you just have to have the faith. You can't confirm it because the evidence actually contradicts you. And so what do they do in that situation? They just go with what their belief is, and then they go to the Bible and they take out everything that doesn't line up, and they say, see, what's left lines up. Okay, that's not actual evidence. That's not evidence. You were just use circular reasoning to try and justify your faith. Okay, so your faith can only be justified by circular, fallacious reasoning. Got it.
I just remembered this guy. Okay, I knew him from that like 2-hour thing, and I didn't watch it, by the way. But I knew him that he did it for Serpent Institute. But he was also in the debate between Avery and Muhammad Hijab when he brought in like Libiano in. He also brought this guy in, and this guy's response to 1094. I remember this because I was like trying to see like is anyone going to go back up on the stage? Are they going to let Christians up? Because I know like there were a couple other people that wanted to join, and I wanted to see like if they were going to allow it. Well, he made a response to 1094, and I remember Muhammad Hijab thought it was a bad response. So he was trying to parallel it with another verse in the Quran saying like, oh, if you ask the pagans if Allah is God, they'll say yes. So he's like, oh, so he's saying, ask them. And so is that making them an authority? And like he's trying to make a parallel to 1094. And Muhammad Hijab even said that there's not a parallel there. It doesn't say if you're in doubt, you go and like he even said like he was making points about that. So that's another thing that I remember this guy from that direction.
Jesus not a
You
Muslim.
really don't want me to talk, do you?
Just expand, please.
Go ahead. Expand.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He doesn't want me to.
I understand.
If Jesus is God, can he be given all authority if he is God?
Not the
You want me
topic.
to answer that, or are you going on a point?
It's the question isn't is Jesus God? The question is this something a Muslim can pray? Because whether Jesus is a Muslim is the topic of the debate.
I asked a question.
Okay, sure.
I don't keep interrupting.
Absolutely. So we're talking about the deity of Christ again, but I'll answer you. Yes, Jesus can be given authority because he humbled himself, came down, took on flesh, handled his business on earth, and is now, as the humble servant of the Father, being exalted back to that position, which is why in verse 5 of the verses that I'm talking about, he says, now, Father, glorify me with the glory that I had with you before the world existed. So he can humble himself and set his divine prerogatives aside for a second, do his job, and then receive it back and inherit it back.
So there's a lesson.
And everyone get it? This is all Jesus praying. That was Jesus praying to the Father. Does that sound like something a Muslim, even a Muslim prophet, could possibly say? Because that's what this guy keeps trying to insist. Oh, if you interpret it this way.
For God for a moment.
Even all, no,
And also,
would you say that all of the left-
it also destroys something that he said as well earlier. He was like, "Oh, it depends what kind of doxa, what type of glory you're talking about." Well, Jesus just says it there. The glory that I shared with you, the Father. That glory. That's the glory that he's referring to there. So he's right to make a distinction between different types of glory. Good, but Jesus tells you what type of glory that he's referring to. So glorify. You know, when he's saying glorify, he's saying this glory was shared with the Father before creation of the world.
to God because he's the best of inheritors?
What the heck?
I know.
What the heck?
You didn't expect
Listen, man,
that.
we're talking about. You don't have to keep changing the subject.
Irony is crazy.
Man, this guy has to posture. He has to posture like he's winning. Listen, man, it's great.
How else is he supposed to react when you're this incoherent, man?
I'm sure you have to remind everybody just how much you're winning.
He brings up the fact that how can he receive authority? How can he receive anything if he's God? Ava responds to that by saying, "But Allah in the Quran claims to be the best of inheritors. He claims to inherit the earth, for example." He goes, "You're changing topics. Like, you're the one who changed topics about this, and I'm just responding to you and saying, hey, if you're consistent on this, you're saying that." So now the topic is the deity of Christ. That's the subtopic within this debate now. And he's saying, okay, let's entertain that though. Okay, so if you're saying that this is an objection against the deity of Christ, then guess what? If you find that to be a good argument against the deity of Christ, you think that's a successful argument, then let's apply it to Allah. Is Allah said to inherit or to gain anything according to the Quran? Yeah, he is. Okay, so by that same logic, then you should reject him. And if you think it's a good argument, you should reject him as well, because Allah can't be God if he's gaining something or inheriting something. And then he's like, you're changing topics. Oh, you're posturing.
It's weird. Any sort of response he whines about.
Don't worry, they're reminded. They know.
Yeah, because you keep reminding him. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. See, look at that. He has to have the last word. He has to have a quick little. You know what I mean? Is this about religion or is this about you?
I'm not making
Just make it a little less, just a little less about you. So, if the scene is Jesus praying to God, and then your conclusion is that he's being given all authority, then A, the fact that he's praying is much more in line with Islam, because gods don't pray to God.
All I praise.
That's false, and you know it. That's such a weak interruption.
Oh, everything this guy says, the inheriting and gaining authority point, he shows Allah does that. The praying point, Allah does that. It's like, he's like, oh man, this guy's getting
Yes,
cooked.
Allah does. It's Surah 33, verse 56, guys. And you got a bunch of hadiths on that too. Oh, interesting.
If you're going to interrupt, at least do a good job.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, good job. So anyway, number one. Number two, if he's given all authority, then he's not God, unless he's a lesser God. But you're going to play this game of like, well, he gave up his authority, so he wasn't fully God. Well, he gave it up, but he still had it. What?
Well, maybe Allah gave up all his stuff, and that's why he had to inherit it, according to Islam.
The heck are you talking about, man?
Allah's the best of inheritors. He gives it up and then, but I guess he still had it, huh? Because he's also the owner of all things, but also the inheritor, which means he's given something.
Is that really, you really think that the fact that everything that dies is going to go back and to be judged by God Almighty? You think he
own it?
lost something?
Does he own it? If he
Well,
owns
that's
it,
how to-
then
this
how's
is-
he inheriting it?
This is the weakest argument I've ever heard
Saying
in my
it's
life.
weak is not a refutation.
So you're telling me, and all of your little,
He just, guys, all
Dude, this
Avery
guy's
keeps
good.
doing is whatever argument the guy uses, he uses the exact same argument and the exact same reasoning against him, and that guy every single time says, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He just did it, right? So So Jesus is going to be granted the authority? That makes no sense. If he's God, how could he be given the authority? How could he be given authority? He would have already had the authority. This makes no sense. And Avery says, "Oh, okay. Well, Allah, he supposedly already owns everything, and yet he's going to inherit it. How does that make sense? This is the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my life. What kind of idiot would use such a stupid argument?" He just used your exact same argument, dude. This is crazy, man.
Patrick's aren't a refutation either. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that God inheriting, as in everything goes back to God, this is confusing for you?
No, it's not.
So you're telling me, wait, do you believe that God is all powerful?
Yes.
Does he inherit? Does everything go back to God on Judgment Day? So does he inherit? So is he weaker then? Do you not see how this can be applied to you?
So no,
It's your argument.
Are you arguing?
He's acting like this is Avery's argument. Avery says, "Okay, if that's your argument, then I will just completely destroy Allah and show that Allah is not God according to the argument you just used."
Dude, it's your argument again.
And then he attacks him for the stupidity of his own argument that he brought up.
Against
this
Christianity?
is what you don't even understand. You don't even know what's happening. You're bringing up arguments where Jesus is inheriting authority from the Father, being given things, receiving things.
I didn't know God's
and
inherit anything.
And you're using. Notice what he just said. I didn't know God's inherit anything.
He just said it. I didn't know God could inherit things.
Oh,
That's so dumb.
my.
That's so dumb. Why does Allah say he inherits? Oh, because. Oh my goodness, he just said
Oh,
it. He just said it.
dude.
I didn't know God could inherit things. Hang on, let's back that
Whoever
up.
told you we need to keep watching this, they were right.
They were absolutely correct, guys. Look what just happened. Look what just happened.
No, it's not.
So you're telling me, wait, do you believe that God is all powerful?
Yes.
Does he inherit? Does everything go back to God on Judgment Day? So does he inherit? So is he weaker then? Do you not see how this can be applied to you?
So no.
What are you arguing against Christianity?
This is what you don't even understand. You don't even know what's happening. You're bringing up arguments where Jesus is inheriting authority from the Father, being given things, receiving things.
I didn't know God's
and
inherit anything.
And you're using. Notice what he just said. I didn't know God's inherit anything. Your Quran literally says this is one of his names. He's the best of inheritors.
That doesn't mean he lost anything.
So, but you just said you didn't know God's inherit anything.
Not power.
So now,
not power.
So now is Allah not God?
Goodness gracious, are you joking?
Is Allah not God?
Do you
inherit?
do you think you just said he puts aside his divinity?
No, I didn't. I said divine
I'm
prerogatives.
not talking about the world and worldly things and matters
Does
like
Allah
wealth.
inherit?
You joking?
Does Allah inherit? Yes or no?
So let me explain this to you theologically. No problem. If this is your line of logic, wow, great. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he is warith, that he is the one who everything goes back to him.
No, say the word.
You have to interrupt. You can't handle it.
What does it mean? What is warith? What's the word?
Inherit. It means to listen, let me explain.
It means inherit?
It doesn't mean inherit divinity. Are you joking?
I didn't say that.
Guys,
Guess who? Look at it. Look
This
at
guy's
Avery
losing
smiling.
it.
This guy's about to
Oh.
jump out of his seat. Look at this.
please tell me nobody's
Does
convinced by
anyone
this
know,
terrible argument.
Is this his like first debaters? Because I don't think he's going to debate again after this. What I'm trying to say, like, I don't think he's going to. This is going to be it for him. Like this
Well,
is bad.
they can go in two directions. One, you can be like, okay, this is not. I'm not made for this. I'm not ready for this. This is just embarrassing. I don't want to embarrass myself again like this. Or they can go in the direction of, oh, I have to redeem myself. So let me find a weaker opponent and try to do something and try to get my reputation.
Well, if he wants to redeem himself, hey, if you guys are still looking for debaters at the conference coming up, he might be interested in redeeming himself.
Hey, Dr. Nasser, you want to? Was Jesus a Muslim round 2?
With David Wood, come on.
With D Wood. Guess what? I'm old. I'm way past my prime. I was way quicker in my 20s. I'm slow now, super slow. So Avery's in his prime right now. So be much easier. I'd be a much easier target. It can help you get your reputation back, man.
Hey, let me explain it very clearly.
Yeah.
When God Almighty is saying that everything that happens in this world, all the wealth and all the riches and all that, look, at the end of the day, you're all going to come back to me and you'll all be judged by me. This doesn't mean that he was weak. This doesn't mean that his divinity was lost or that he put aside his divinity. This is equivocation. He's just taking the word inherit and saying, gotcha moment. That's not serious. God never loses his power. God never loses authority over anything,
did Jesus.
obviously.
Look at Avery.
But on Judgment Day, when everything goes back to him and he judges everyone, this is God inhering everything. Not like, oh my God, I
Very
lost something.
good. So in the
Yeah,
same,
you got the word inherit.
in
Congrats.
this,
What?
Look at this right here. Avery just got he got his feet kicked up. He's just chilling back in the chair.
Yeah.
This guy's losing his mind.
Yeah,
Avery's
like
just
his
like
head is
chilling.
about like his head is actually about to explode right now. Like this dude, check your blood pressure, man, because
Point is that he's talking about Jesus actually being a deity
Who receives it
does
back.
not have his divinity.
No. So
So he inherits authority.
So notice,
I'm not inheriting. I'm not talking about inheriting like
I got
wealth
you.
and the world
I
and things
got
like
you.
that. You're talking about inheriting
But
what?
notice-
Authority.
Is Jesus a Muslim?
Yeah.
Just on that specific topic, can we do closing statements?
Oh, they
Yes,
had to-
sure.
they had
Okay,
to-
Go ahead.
okay, closing statements. Awesome. So we're at the closing statements, guys. I'm guessing they give 2 minutes each because there's 4 minutes left in this debate.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, brother. So I'll be pretty quick. So what we saw was that to be a Muslim is something specific. It's to believe specifically in the God of Islam, the God that Muhammad propagates, the God that the Hadith propagate, one who is not a father in any way, shape, or form, one who doesn't beget nor is begotten, one who is unlike his creation, one who is not multi-personal, one who is not a statute or anything like that. This is the God that Muslims are talking about when they say that you're a Muslim. But then the problem is they try to apply this to Jesus. The issue is when we get to Jesus, we see that Jesus affirms that God is multi-personal. He affirms that he is the Son of God who gives eternal life and has authority over all flesh, which according to Dr. Nasser, you cannot be a Muslim and say. So Dr. Nasser, while affirming that the Bible is where we get closest to the historical Jesus, according to the most historical account of Jesus that we have, Jesus affirms that he's the divine Son of God who has the ability to give eternal life, has authority over all flesh, and by his own words, cannot be a Muslim by claiming such things. So what we saw, Jesus is not a Muslim. It's impossible to prove that. It's impossible to demonstrate that. Muslims, you have to start thinking about this more deeply and notice that you're going to have to change your religion in order to try to apply the term Muslim to Jesus. Because once you do that, you're now going to flip-flop on your Aqidah. You're going to flip-flop on what you believe about Allah. You're going to ascribe to him names that he never ascribed for himself, which in chapter 7 it says to avoid those who deviate from his names. Chapter 7, verse 180. Do not deviate from the names of Allah. Do not commit bid'ah and innovation by trying to say Jesus is a Muslim, because it will collapse.
Closing statement, please.
Sure.
Everyone get that? So this is your last shot, man. You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to turn things around. Can he do it, guys? Can he turn this around in 2 minutes?
One last opportunity to crash out. Let's see if he
It's
does.
your last chance, man. You can either crash
out,
out,
Dante.
you can spout nonsense, or you can somehow bring it all home. Let's see.
Fortunately,
What I noticed is that
I was hoping.
once he starts talking, he like gets more animated and gets more upset. So I think he might anger himself in the closing. I haven't seen it, but I'm thinking he might anger himself. He just like gets reminded of all the times of the cell phones and pointing things out. I think he's gonna get worse and worse. But let's see.
Let's see.
This would move past one topic. Very odd to me that it just stuck with this one word, Father, which for some reason you guys fully asserted and completely agree can be figurative and therefore has a meaning of creator and the one that is loving and caring and so forth. And then every single time I asserted that, you just want to usher in and say, so he is a father, and that is a theological statement, and therefore we can add in all this theology. And so every time I actually expounded on it, he wanted to be like, just give me a yes or no. This went in a direction that I was not expecting, but now
We know it went in a direction you weren't expecting. That's why you kept trying to go back to the Dawa script, which sucks.
that you have ushered in your actual point, which is that you have to assert that Jesus is that the God is multi-personal and that Jesus is God. That's actually what I want to talk to you about, which I had lots of verses for. You never let me get around to it. My point is simple.
So he's saying he wanted to debate whether Jesus is God. Why didn't you challenge him on that?
Yeah, it would have been better to challenge him on a topic he wanted to debate him on.
And I mean, they had a debate on whether the historical Jesus taught the Trinity. So I mean, they're not.
That's
they're
probably
not,
the debate you probably wanted to get in on.
yeah,
Remember, because
they're not running from this stuff.
yeah.
But once you agree to a topic, you got to defend that topic, and you can't just be arguing for what you actually wanted to debate. Weird stuff.
If you go through the Bible and you see over and over again verses that clearly demonstrate that Jesus is not God, and if that theology makes absolutely no sense to you, as it shouldn't because it doesn't work, which I wish we could have talked about a little bit more, then you guys would have concluded, you would come to the simple conclusion that obviously if he's not God, if he's worshiping God, if he sleeps and God doesn't sleep, if he dies and God doesn't die, if he has if 1,000 other things, if he grows in wisdom and God doesn't grow in wisdom, then maybe when he calls himself a prophet, he is a prophet. And when you see the parallels between him being a man and a prophet, and you see the Jewish prophets had a similar.
You could grant everything, and you could grant he's not God. You could grant that he's a prophet. Doesn't make him a Muslim, which is the topic. Let's see.
Storyline. And you see the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has an extremely similar storyline. I know he wants to focus on, but he looked up when he prayed, instead of focusing on the fact that he prayed to God. Like,
okay, you heard it there, folks. Anyone who prays has to be a Muslim.
Complete mismatch of what to focus on. I would say, clearly you're going to come to the conclusion that the historical Jesus, when you take a look at the earlier texts, you see that there's less Christology. So therefore, the closer you get to Jesus, the more you realize he was a prophet, as was concluded by the people who were listening in Matthew 21, as you mentioned.
That's not what they concluded. That's what they already believed about him.
So therefore, if he's a prophet of God, and if he worships God, then I think it's fair to say that he is in line with Islamic prophets, the Muslim concept of who Jesus was. I would highly urge you to learn about Islam, and inshallah ta'ala, God willing, you will be guided to the faith of Islam. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
That was awesome, guys.
So-
That was,
He
that
kept
was
his
good.
composure a little bit more there, but you could tell he was holding back a lot. He was definitely holding back a lot of rage, and I'm sure on his way out he was crying on his way home. You guys really saw that stress and all that anger. So
Yeah, as I mentioned, I saw a couple of clips and so on, but people circulate the clips that they think were best and stuff. So you're always thinking, well, maybe in the rest of the debate he laid out something better and wasn't getting cooked. No, there was no redeeming feature of his arguments anywhere in the entire debate. That was an absolute massacre. Was an absolute massacre. Guys, I don't think it's getting any better for Dawa this year. I just don't think it's going to happen, man. Let's take these last super chats. Thanks to the Quran reveals the truth and the false. Yeah, plenty of false. Juliet, that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Nasser, I am Muslim, hear me whine. What?
that's what Kenny Bulmer quoted like a million times in your debate with him on the same topic as Jesus a Muslim. He kept quoting that line over and over and over and over again.
Did he? I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was like yeah, there's like at least like 20 times he quoted that line.
If Jesus entices sin, then he pays for it in Islam too.
So it's the verse that,
yeah, I think he's pointing out that if Jesus is confusing everyone into worshiping him and stuff like that, then he would be responsible for enticing people to sin. And according to Islam, if you lead someone else into sin, you bear some of that. And so Jesus would be paying for the sins, but the sins that he actually caused. Darn Jews being Jews! That's true. Jesus is a Muslim, same way Muslims are Christians.
Oh yeah, that is kind of funny how he's like, how can you be a Jew and a Muslim? A Jew and a Christian, but he has no problem with them being a Jew and a Muslim. Oh boy.
I would not leave home for a year if that was me.
Yeah.
Nasser got intellectually decapitated. So Nasser goes to the "we believe" rhetoric. We believe, yep, that's what you got. Just can't show anything. Jannah sounds like Afghanistan.
Yeah. That with the young boy, I think, as I was talking about the young boys, I promised to them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Jesus came out of the womb fully able to speak and expound Islam according to Quran, so didn't have to grow much in wisdom. Does that mean he's not Muslim, or does it not work both ways?
That's funny. Yeah.
But
you can't expect him to be consistent.
But God has chosen the foolish things of the world to put to shame the wise, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame the things which are mighty.
Amen.
I was asked to teach at my church's apologetics conference in October. I'll be speaking about Muhammad's character and the Islamic dilemma. Much love. Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Good topics. Those are the two big topics.
Yep.
The Islamic dilemma is our favorite argument for like stopping dawah, because they always like to go after the Bible. Muhammad's character is the thing that causes Muslims to doubt most.
Yep.
Children of God until the age of 6, then adults. Once you're 6, you're an adult. Baby Shark. Baby
That's
Shark.
the alarm.
Do.
Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark.
Straight out of Tarsus, preaching. They see me walking, they hating, watching, trying to catch me preaching. Glory. Because that's why is the doctor's best argument, but he was not aware he couldn't use it in this debate.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Didn't even have his main argument. Nasser is so condescending, it's unbelievable also. Yeah, it's pretty bad. This scholar, Kafir, why do you talk back to me? You're making me look bad. How dare you? Don't you know you're supposed to be subjugated? I'm about to start writing a novel about a pair of rogues named Mehmet and Dihya. I'll keep you posted on its progress. Adventure, romance in the deserts of Arabia should be lots of fun. God bless. Yeah, they should make a movie out of that one. Best stream ever. Thank you both. Yeah, this is fun. I'm glad people told us to go ahead and finish
Praise
this
God.
debate. That was good. Calm down, Avery. Jeez, I know. Or Avery. AP is upon the lastest office. Cheap trends. Desks are so in fashion right now, but was it a Swedish desk or an American oak mahogany? Nah. He gets that like Amazon stuff. Your last few posts have been so petty, and I love it. Oh, have they? And there's a coin there from Kit Kat. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Tomorrow, going to be on Sarah's channel. I think it's Sarah's 10-year anniversary of leaving Islam. So we're going to be over on Sarah's channel tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep. So that'll be cool. And I should have a video up tomorrow. Broke back in the desert. Yep. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Fun times. And it's cool because they recorded more debates that day. So I don't know. Maybe the other ones are maybe those other ones are going to go better. Maybe the other ones are going to go better for Muslims because that did not go well. Guys, again, this is the scholar who's been preparing for this for years and couldn't make the slightest positive case that Jesus was actually a Muslim. That's a problem, guys. That's a problem. Again, every dawah booth, you should be there. All right, guys. Catch y'all next time.